People, I don't fucking like XSplit a whole lot. I just don't. I'm sorry. Elgato, piece of shit. I was trying to tell these guys a story about me figuring out problems, and as soon as I was doing that shit, everything just went to fucking doo-doo, went to crap. But we are here. It's the MCA, not the MCA, it's a chat attack, but it's a midnight chat attack. We are here. It's not midnight. Can we still call it the midnight even though we're on Saturday?
Hey, man, it's midnight somewhere.
Yeah.
Hey, that's my line.
Exactly. Well, I don't know. And speaking of your lines, I'm actually almost scared to even do this right now. But Alan, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm so kidding. I've been super busy the last couple of days. I had to watch in the last day. I've watched 5 movies and done 2 recordings on 2 of those movies. So, and we got to do fucking a bunch of reviews today. So my day has been fucking busy.
Wow, Penelope's looking all perky after seeing Rodan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You Rodan or Rodan?
I run Dunn and I'm Rodan, son.
Oh, damn it!
Please stop.
Sometimes on
Jesus
a perky day, I get Roxanne.
Shut the fuck up. This is bad, dude.
I don't know. I know it's horrible, but it's funny.
No, it's not. That's why
in my head, it's hilarious. It's the voices in my head. It was great.
My God. People, anyway, so I don't know if you guys are actually watching right now. I'm going to do something really quick in the chat. I'm going to say hi really quick because this shit was not working. Hello.
And also express my mindset.
Absolutely. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. But here's the thing, though. We are here. We are here, and I'm so fucking happy. Let me check Twitch. It's probably not going to work either. Oh, it is working. Godzilla Hype. How you doing, JT? Grim Dresden. I know I said that wrong. It's okay. I like saying things wrong. Just like Alan likes to pronounce things wrong, too, and spell things wrong. But it's okay, Alan.
Really?
You know,
that's rich coming from you.
Yeah, it really is. And honestly, you haven't even fucked with me today. I threw the first punch. Now I deserve whatever you're going to be throwing at me today, so I apologize for that. Ganja Guru, how you doing, man?
Well, I just found out my account got stolen on Twitch, so I got to reset my password.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, I was like, so why am I not logged in? Oh, someone stole my shit. Let me reset my password.
Yeah, I signed on to the wrong thing. My bad. It wasn't me. I might as well just make that known right now. It was not me.
Look, at least somebody knows Ganja's password.
Shut up.
Here's the thing. In case you guys are wondering how bad things are fucked up as far as like the XSplit goes, check this out. On the screen right now, where we usually have the YouTube chat, it's usually right fucking there. It didn't even update my fucking screen over here too. At the bottom, it says Death Stranding. We're not talking about Death Stranding. What the fuck? So I'll fix all that, even though I just did it for the last 10 minutes. I'm so fucking mad. God damn you, XSplit. This is why OBS wins. This is why it wins. This is why, dude. This is why. Anyways, so with that said, I'm not crazy. You're crazy. Alan, we got lots of reviews to do today. Hopefully we can get through it without me just losing my fucking mind and choking you the fuck out, even though it's not your fault. But the main thing I want to talk about really quick, too, and this is not even a topic that we, like, planned for or whatever, but I forgot to even discuss this outside of the show. Mortal fucking Kombat, man. Like, what do you think about the whole Spawn thing and the Shane Soon trailer and all that shit?
I think Spawn is an underrated character that everyone thinks is overrated. And it makes me sad because I was like, oh man, who gives a shit about Spawn? Man, fucking Hellboy is killing it. He's in Injustice 2. He's going to have his own movie. What the fuck does Spawn have? And at this fucking point, more than Hellboy, because that fucking Hellboy movie was some garbage.
Yeah.
So it's like, at least Spawn comes in and I was like, he'll have some fucking relevance because his design is cool. And if fucking Seth MacFarlane can ever get his head out of his ass long enough to make a fucking movie, maybe he'll get a movie too. But it's like, I mean, whatever. He's getting some love, and it's Mortal Kombat 11, so he'll look good in it. I'm curious who they're gonna get to be his voice actor, because apparently for Shang Tsung they got the actual voice actor from the Mortal Kombat movie, which I find hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know why you find it hilarious, because honestly, it's like that character, I think, took it so seriously, or not the character, but the actor. He took the character so seriously. Yeah. And to this day, I still think about some of the quotes from the first movie. Like, that shit was effective as fuck. You know what I mean? But yeah, like, why do you think it's funny though? Just the fact that he's so old now, or something, or?
No, they actually decided to just do that because like, it's been so long since that movie, so it's like as much as like because I think they in this game they did use the theme from Mortal Kombat, so it's like, but I almost thought for the longest time that Mortal Kombat forgot that movie happened. Because it was so long ago and they barely reference it, and I think after the second one they want to forget it. But when the trailer for this and they played the Mortal Kombat theme, I was like, oh, they're finally remembering. Hey, they're bringing it back. That's actually really interesting. I kind of like that. I don't know if they're gonna do that for anybody else because fuck most of those actors.
Yeah, man. But no, apparently all the chats are working fine and everything. So we'll move on from the video game stuff. I wouldn't normally ask Ganja, hey, what do you think about the Mortal Kombat trailer? But he's gonna be like, yo, fucking MK2 is out or whatever. Fuck you, asshole.
These nuts. That's what I think.
They do need to decide whether or not they're gonna stick with the fucking Roman numerals now.
They never had Roman numerals. They always had numbers.
No, well, X is a Roman numeral.
That's the only time in the entirety of Mortal Kombat that they ever use Roman numerals. They always use numbers.
No,
or names.
Mortal Kombat 2 was Roman numerals as well.
The Roman numeral, like, it was. Well, then,
yeah,
that's
two,
why
is two lines. Yeah.
Well, that's why I was making that fucking joke.
And then Deadly Alliance had a V in the back, so that was a 5.
Wait, how? How does Deadly Alliance have a V in the back?
Look, we're gonna go back to the simple things. 4 scratches, 1 off.
Oh, we're doing Left 4 Dead? What the fuck is this shit?
Yeah,
no, really quick though, Alan. You didn't notice this? Like, let me show you right here. Hopefully you can see my screen.
No, like, I played a lot of Mortal Kombat, but, like, I played them randomly.
Yeah,
I just assumed that was a logo. I didn't think that was a V for 5.
Well, because, yeah, it came out right after 4. And it was supposed to be called, like, MK5 and then, like, some sub-name. But they were like, you know what? Let's start doing all these. Because Deception doesn't have any 6s there at all. Like, as a matter of fact, I'll look that up. Well,
yeah, that's what threw me off. Because, like, the Mortal Kombat games are kind of just named as they fucking felt like it.
Yeah, I mean, do you see anything that would be considered a 6 here?
Dragon, if you really want to make a case.
Motherfucker, then if that's the case, every single one.
Every single one is
like that's like Alex Jones level though. All right, I didn't say it was a strong case.
Yeah. By the way, too, JT saying Mortal Kombat never forgot about the movie. It, however, conveniently forgets Mortal Kombat Annihilation every chance it gets. So here's the thing, though, man. Mortal Kombat Annihilation did do a lot of stuff that I feel like was done in the games as well, and it kind of like sets up the fact that these games have terrible storylines. Like, I know I fight with Alan on this a lot, but my God, dude, like, I don't like the storylines at all in Mortal Kombat, except for MK9, because it was very basic.
Yeah.
And that's what was good about the first 3 games anyway. So it's like, it's kind of cheating in a way, when you really think about it. But yeah, like, what do you think about that? Like, Annihilation story, do you feel like it's similar to the video games at all, or?
No, I think Annihilation story was trying its best to be as similar to the video game as possible, but only in lip service, like we see with a lot of video game movies, where it's like, oh man, as long as we get the visuals down, it doesn't fucking matter how stupid and shitty this movie is. It's a video game movie. Who fucking cares? Or at least with the first Mortal Kombat movie, it's like they tried to make it. They legit tried, and they managed to nail it, and they added something to the fucking franchise. That's what I guess my problem with a lot of comic adaptation and video game adaptations is they're trying so hard to capture the lightning, but they're too afraid to do anything new with it. And if they do anything new, it's just typical Hollywood shit, like the Tomb Raider reboot. That is great for 2/3 of the movie until they get to the island. Then it's just made up bullshit, and it falls the fuck apart. It just narratively just fucking drops. And at least with Mortal Kombat 1, it's like, yeah, the acting is bad and it's cheesy, but it got the spirit of Mortal Kombat down, and it added the theme song that more people know the theme song to Mortal Kombat than the video game.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, I wasn't laughing at you. We got this guy.
No.
You know what I'm laughing at, right?
No,
Yeah,
I don't actually.
I know, and I'm about to respond.
There's this dude named Jiggle My Tight, Dirty, Smelly, Wet, Brown Puffhole.
Fuck the chat.
And he said, and I quote to you, Alan, you sound like a delicious man. And when I respond, he is a buttery smooth jiggly.
Yeah, if you're curious, I mean, we're on this whole Get Birdman laid thing still. I definitely think you should.
God, I totally forgot about that.
By the way, JJW, I don't know who you are, but he's saying who's on the Midnight Chat tag. Well, the midnight part is gone now. Like, fuck that Midnight Chat tag. That was actually one of the stupidest fucking names ever, by the way. Hate to talk shit about ourselves, but my
Stop
God.
being a hoe.
Hey, I like the Midnight Chat Attack name because it was a running gag that we don't know how to name our fucking channels.
Yeah, that's not good.
I don't give a goddamn shit. The Untitled Video Game Show had 3 titles at any given point. The midweek was on a fucking Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, depending how we felt like it. And the midnight was at 7 p.m. It was fucking amazing.
But see, the thing is, we got all the chats going on, so we're actually attacking the chat now. It actually fits our name for once. Like, holy shit. And JJW is Josh, so because of that, fuck you, Josh. I will not respond to you.
Oh, that's why he's saying that shit, man. Fuck you, Josh. You a bitch.
Basically, our panel right now, tonight, is going to be just me and Alan and Ganja.
Hi.
But usually Jet's on here, and Allie's on here once every 4 months. We still have people on too, which, by the way, too, you know when we haven't done in a long time, Ganja?
What's up?
The rules.
Oh my God.
And by the way, we're not going to do it today either.
I was about to say, I'm about to pull out my knife. You motherfucker think you gonna pull that shit on me?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you got that right. We are. Is that even fucking rules?
I am so curious. Okay, can we guess what the rules are really quick? And Chad, you can jump in on this too. Rule number 1. Don't you click around your keyboard too, by the way. I don't want you to cheat.
Yeah, God's is already doing that shit. He doesn't even fucking.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Rule number 1: make sure not to talk over each other. Right?
No, that's the second one because you usually
That's
interrupt
the
and
second
go
one,
like, "Oh, fuck you, you're gay," whatever.
Is it rule number 1? Don't give anyone else the link.
Yep.
Is rule number 3?
Don't get anybody else. No, that's.
You're looking at the man. I can see it in your fucking face.
How? You can see it in my face. What are
You literally had this shit-eating grin as soon as the camera switched to you. Like, I don't know any other tell. Like if we were playing poker, bitch, I would have went.
Look at that. He just. Oh my god, you just saw that.
No, I was trying to share my fucking screen because y'all are a bunch of motherfuckers.
But it's really quick to share your screen,
First
though.
of all, that's besides.
No, not it. You can't do it in Google on Hair. I just learned that right now.
On hair.
Google on hit.
Fuck y'all. How about that?
Google got a weave.
Oh my god, dude.
We have a super packed show, guys. Let's just spend 20 minutes bitching about the rules and not get to that.
I'm
Look,
actually really
rule number 5: don't interrupt. Wait, no.
That's number 3. Anyways, rule number 5
Wait, no,
is
come on, you
read
know
the
rule
rules
number
and don't
5.
be a dick. By the way, people.
No, we changed it to don't be a Nick.
Yeah, don't be
Oh
a
yeah,
floppy dick.
that's not great. Here's the thing though. You guys should be me because what I'm going to be doing tonight is going to be talking about lots of movies, lots of topics and whatnot too. And when I do so, I do want y'all to join us if you want to. And then if you do, people who are watching this right now should know, like, we shouldn't be talking over each other, being dicks, whatever. I don't think we need to do the rules anymore to tell you guys that. If we get lots of new people coming around, then we'll go back to the rules. But honestly, I like not doing the rules. I like just shooting the shit, Ganja. Is that so bad?
When it comes to the rules, that was the whole idea of, like, because we're still open to a lot of toasty, especially you guys want to review something or come on and hang out for a certain topic, and your equipment is set and right. Because that's one of the main issues with this idea is if you come on, you got to have a good internet connection and got a good mic. All right, like a lot of times with the earlier stuff, we were dealing with a lot of people that were straight up ordering stuff from McDonald's and trying to talk to us at the same time, which that just ruins the flow of the show. But like if you come on, you try to come on with some good signal, some good fucking mic. We'll have you come on and talk shit. But my favorite thing is when they used to come on and they used to talk like weird shit. Like I remember that one guest. I'm trying to think of his name right now. Oh, Captain Jack Ferret.
Oh yeah.
Yo, he went off on a whole thing about Islam for like a second before we stopped him.
Yeah, I mean, and someone in the chat right now too, Julian, just like, oh no, we're not fucking talking about that, bro.
Dude, everybody went on, man. Like everyone's like, yo, if y'all want to know that, go to the fucking Facebook chat, the chat attack, and look up the year 1 edit. The part 3 has the actual clip, the full clip of him trying to talk about Islam, and everyone in the chat going, no, fuck, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, by the way, JDW, Josh, he was saying, am I the only one in the chat that's not on the stream? I don't know how you can pull that off.
What does that mean?
Yeah, like, am I the only one who's in the chat that's not chatting in the chat and not chat, huh?
Am I the only one in the chat that's not on the stream? I don't understand what the fuck you're talking about, buddy.
JT saying first, the snakes are rodents. Is that the
What?
case? I don't even know, man. People were actually naming us the bastard chat attack. There was another one, the overly disgruntled chat attack, which, by the way,
Whoa,
that's
that's
Alan.
pretty on the nose.
No, that's Alan, by the way.
Yeah.
I am actually happy.
Oh
I like
yeah,
things
the
that come
Chapo
out.
brothers are working together to bring me down as for fucking always.
Yeah, sorry. we gotta take down the master of
The most
negativity.
powerful member. Yeah, I remember that shit from Monopoly. It didn't fucking work out for Ganja then. Ain't gonna work now.
By the way, too,
Look.
I really do feel like the Monopoly thing, if we played again, I would find out that you're just extra angry or whatever, because the whole idea for Monopoly is to not do deals with other people to help them out, right? So when
Oh,
I'm
no,
just
no.
telling you not to do that.
Okay.
First of all,
but
this
no.
motherfucker is angry. We played a game of Uno, and I think our friendship almost died.
Yeah, they were literally upset. I had to record while they were arguing because we couldn't start the show. They were
All
arguing
right,
for 20 minutes
speaking
long.
of which, Alan, you can't put the car down and pick that shit back up.
Oh really?
Go
What about the
fuck
30
yourself.
fucking rules that were going around? Huh?
Go fuck yourself. That is an actual rule. You can't
Every
put a car
single
down and
person
pick
in
it
there.
back
No,
up.
don't you get on me. We were dealing with 3 other fucking people. And everyone had their own fucking rules for fucking Uno. Everyone just made that shit up because who cares about the actual fucking rules?
Here's the thing. Like, actual rules, when you're playing a game like... Oh, you know what, though? You guys are playing that fucking VR thing, so you guys could make up your own shit. But what you guys should play is Monopoly Plus or something. Like, something that actually has rules in place.
Are
so you guys
they
can
paying
argue.
you right now?
Yeah. Well, we tried to play Monopoly Plus, but your thing never worked. But also, Ganja is a bitch when it comes to Monopoly. He doesn't know how to play properly.
No, but the thing is, you guys are making up your own shit. Like, there's no system that tells you you cannot do that. It's like, you guys are just going to argue about it. You can't argue the fucking rules. Like, rules are rules. You got to do the rules.
But you
argue the
don't
rules.
put your car down and be like, no, I don't want to make that move. Pick it back up as I'm about to play my turn. Go fuck yourself.
Wait,
I
you
never
actually
did that. That was 90s.
But you defended him because I was going to have
I
that
defended him
Uno.
because of the stupid rules that everyone fucking had. And you know what? Screw it. This is a fuck you to you.
Thank
See
you,
that?
Rufus.
Okay. Wait. He said once you put the card down, the card is down, Alan. Yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna go on Alan right now because I
That
wasn't there
wasn't
for
me. That was somebody else.
No, I know, but you were defending it, and now you
He
guilty.
defended because he won right after that.
Guilty
You're
by
goddamn
association.
right I did. I know what I was doing. It's called strategy, motherfucker.
Cheat? No, it's called cheating, you son of a bitch.
How is that cheating? I'm sorry that my strategy and my manipulation
What
actually helped
strategy?
me
You
win.
just lied.
That's a strategy.
That is a strategy, but at the same time, I'm only saying it just.
Oh,
to
you
make
have
it...
to. No, this guy just doesn't know how to fucking lie and manipulate to get a win. Because he tried to do that shit in fucking Monopoly and just lost first.
I'm just scared. Like what JT's saying, this turned into Monopoly Fight Club real quick. Only these motherfuckers can find a way to turn Monopoly into a goddamn fight.
All right, don't
thing.
get me started on our fucking round of Hungry Hippos.
We never fucking played Hungry.
Should
Imagine,
have went with the motherfucking bit.
Just pull out a gun. I dare you to fucking take
dude.
that last
One time, me and Alan got in a legitimate fight when I was playing one player on Cuphead, and we started arguing because I was mad about the controller, of which I was just fucking around. We got into a legitimate, actual friendship fight
On
on
air.
the stream over Cuphead, which is a one-player game, y'all. That shit's amazing. But at the same time, though, that's why Alan's a really good friend to have, because anytime you're just chilling or playing a game or hanging out with him, he will make the shit interesting. Somehow, some way, something's gonna happen, and it's all thanks to Alan. Alan, thank you very much for making my life a lot less actually boring. But anyway,
Makes my life a lot more boring. Okay.
no, less boring. I said more, but I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. You're boring too. Fuck you. So the thing is, though, before we even continue on with these video game talks and whatnot, too, I do want to bring up something that everyone's discussing on social media and whatnot, and it's this Robert Pattinson thing. We touched on it before. It's gonna be very quick. I won't say the same thing you probably heard from Double Toasted, probably. But Warner Bros. made it official now. Apparently, Robert Pattinson's gonna be Batman. Now, I've already explained before that I'm willing to accept that this is going to be happening, and I'm cool to see. I mean, Robert Pattinson's done some good shit before too. Remember Me, Good Time.
Just stick to Good Time. Don't say Remember Me.
Well,
Remember me.
the acting was
No,
still
that
good.
was the one that had September 11 as the ending.
Was
Yeah.
that really? I thought you made that movie up.
No.
I didn't think that was a real movie. Or the Dear John that you made up. That story.
Yo,
I wasn't sure if it was real or not.
Yo, I'm gonna copy and paste that, Ruthless. That's how we're gonna get our first fucking deal shit right there.
Yeah, Ruthless, by the way, too, just to take a break for a second, Ruthless in the chat saying, now's a good time to talk about tonight's sponsor, makeup, or, the screen change. So I just skipped 4 sentences.
Holy shit! And now it's a good time to bring up tonight's sponsor. Do you need to mend a friendship, make up for a missed date with your loved one? Try Edible Arrangements. Use the offer code NICPICKING to receive
Fuck
20%
you.
off your order over $35 or more.
Fuck
The
you.
Edible Arrangement sponsor of tonight's episode of the Chat Attack.
Fuck you. There you go. Just typed it in.
Hey, Dollar Shave Club wants to fucking not only sponsor us, but have me make fun of Nick. I'll do it.
Okay, dude, Dollar Shave Club would be great for you, because it would just be Alan looking at that shit like,
Speaking of
fuck.
Dollar Shave Club,
What would I suck?
we are tonight we're sponsored by Dollar Shave Club.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
shit.
I haven't had a chance to put this in my bathroom, and this has been sitting here, so I'm using this for a bit.
So how many of these do you actually need? Like 10 of them?
Actually, I go through about because there's 4 in here, and they're pretty good, and there's probably about 2 weeks.
Oh my god, dude, how much money do you spend on shaving?
It's actually really cheap. It's only like $7 every 2 months.
Well, fuck it. At that point, I gotta plug in. You know, I got some Prozac straight from Pharma. You know, make sure to go check out
It
Pfizer.
doesn't work when you don't have your webcam on. Like we Tic Tacs for all we fucking know.
Hey, I am not allowed to sell drugs through the internet, but I can maybe hint at it.
Oh my god. And people, also, the Chat Attack. You guys can watch their show while we talk about Robert Pattinson and how much he has to do with fucking, like, I don't know, shaving.
Why does everybody hate this boy?
Because he was in a really god awful movie series, like 5 before them. Was it 4 or
But
5?
doesn't it
that's
take the-
almost 10 plus years ago, man.
That doesn't fucking matter. I'm sorry, but like that's like Nicolas Cage. Yeah, that I was yelling at Nicolas Cage being in just about anything because of how shit his fucking movie career can be. Like again, it's a fucking shit movie franchise, and it's like again, if Christopher Nolan, because again, one of the other fucking stories that's connected to this is Christopher Nolan's next movie is fucking Tenet, and Robert Pattinson. I don't know if he's the lead in it, but he's attached to it. If he's good in there, because for me, Christopher Nolan could do no fucking wrong. Maybe I'll fucking forgive him. But when fucking when Ben Affleck did fucking Daredevil, that god awful fucking movie, every one of y'all was like, man, fuck Ben Affleck. He's never gonna be a good Batman. No. I just saw a post the other day, someone saying that Ben Affleck was the best live action Batman. But what did he do? He did 3 fucking great big fucking movies in a row.
Mm-hmm. Which is
And
fine.
it's like, yeah, I'm never gonna fucking watch Good Time because I don't think he's fucking good. I'm not saying Good Time is a bad movie or he's even bad in it. I just don't want to see this motherfucker in anything.
I like that JT Grimm is gonna call him Robert Pattinson. That's a great name for this.
I'm sure that's yeah, of course. That's the
He's about to have the creepiest Batman eyes.
Yeah, here's the thing, man. Like, and I'm gonna ask you now, Gonzo, too. It's like, has your opinion changed? I mean, everyone reacting a certain way to this sometimes can change other people's opinion about, like, okay. maybe this guy is shit. So, like, what do you feel about it?
I get the anger to a certain degree, but a lot of it is just you guys got to get over the middle school, high school days of your favorite crush, like Robert Pattinson, and having his picture on the wall. Like, those days are long gone, y'all. Y'all don't got to fight that anymore. Those girls have long either married you or married somebody else or been pregnant. Like, times have changed. Like, move on. Like, it's not middle school anymore. It's not high school. Alan, I'm looking at you specifically right now as I make this
call. I don't give a goddamn shit. I'm sorry. Fuck it. That's like, what, you gonna get Michael Cera to be fucking, like, to be the Joker? Like, what the fuck?
I'm not saying that. Just because I say one thing don't mean the other, brother. So when it comes to Robert Pattinson, like, I'm going to let you know right now, I'm biased because I feel bad for the boy. I still remember when I found out he got cheated on and had to deal with his girlfriend fucking the director of her movie. And that whole thing blew up in Hollywood. The man was still had to act, I think, one more film with her as a couple. That shit must have sucked. Hopefully the paycheck was good enough. But, man, let the guy act like... Let's not make this man another fucking Anakin Skywalker. Like he's never hurt nobody and or did nothing wrong. Matter of fact, he has had wrong done to him. Give him a chance.
No, I definitely agree with you, man. Because it's one of those things too. Is like this guy doesn't even like Twilight. It takes the weight off of the whole idea that he was even part of it in the first place.
He wasn't the worst actor too. Like everyone's like, oh my god, Robert Pattinson. Do y'all not remember Kristen Stewart playing zombie throughout that shit?
No,
that's a fucking low ass bar. Hey, he's better than Kristen Stewart. That's like, hey, I'd be just as mad if Kristen Stewart's gonna fucking play Wonder Woman.
Hey man, all right. Would you rather have a real runny shit or a good shit? All right. That is the question we're asking here.
Wait, are we asking a question?
You're going to take a shit regardless, but if it's runny and it burns your culo, or just a regular turd that you drop in like 4 or 5 minutes and you're gone.
Not when it comes to the most iconic superhero in history.
We already had a shitty Batman, Ben Affleck.
And we've had great Batmans. I'm not gonna say I'm sorry, but again, literally, I won't be fucking going until he fucking is literally in the suit, and I'm sitting there watching the fucking movie, and I gotta judge that. Cause yeah, I wasn't in the same band camp, but I heard the same fucking people saying shit about the guy from fucking 10 Things I Hate About You and Brokeback Mountain, and being the best live action Joker ever. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, that happened to fucking work out. But that doesn't mean it's always going to. And I hate that thing. So it was 10 years ago. Half of the fucking people that are trying to give him a chance were the same people that were shitting all the Twilight fans for fucking funding Twilight. They are just Fairweather fans. Oh, it's been 10 years. You forget about it, man. Fuck y'all.
No,
it's been 10 years since the fucking prequel. They're gonna let George Lucas direct another Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I see your point, but the thing is, like, times has changed. I mean, on top of this whole thing, like, us giving Robert Pattinson a chance, or at least Hollywood giving Robert Pattinson a chance with Batman, same thing's going on with, like, this fucking puppet bullshit with the Dark Crystal. And I say bullshit because I just don't get it, right? This is actually something that does look nice. There's a couple times where I almost feel like this isn't puppets. But apparently, yeah, Netflix is actually going to go and bring something else back that doesn't really get respect. The last time we had some kind of puppets in anything was some stupid-ass fucking movie like that goddamn, what was that shit? Yeah, Happy Time Murders. And
fucking hate that movie. Oh my god.
Yeah, that movie was terrible, man. And it's like, we get a situation like this, and I'm like, you know what? Like, it's nice to see something that doesn't really get respect quite often. Get like a cool trailer like this. I mean, this feels like theatrical. I mean, it's like August 28th, dun 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 dun. Fucking, Dark Crystal is gonna be on Netflix, and I'm like, dude, I'm hyped for this, man. It's something I would pay for, almost. Like, there's a lot of cool shit in here, lots of cool imagery, lots of like this right here. This I don't know what the fuck this character. I don't know anything about puppets or anything about Dark Crystal or what's his nim, John Henson. I think the guy's name is.
I think it's Jim Henson, because I know that if we get that wrong, Ruthless is gonna kill us in the chat.
Or Ryan Walterson. Ryan will fuck us up. So. Yeah, man.
He literally said, you better believe I'm binging this.
Ryan's gonna catch y'all outside and just give y'all a muppet beating.
I'm gonna fuck you guys up and kill you.
For some reason, this is mildly annoying.
Jim Henson. Okay, was I right, Ruthless, or was Alan right? Make sure to emphasize if Alan was incorrect.
I personally like to call him Jim Handsome.
He's a handsome Jim. Here's the thing, though. I'm gonna ask you really quick, Ganja. You are one of these guys who we're both wrong. Fuck you, Ruthless. Fuck you for being correct. Ganja, you must have seen some of this, right, man? Because I don't know if you did watch this trailer.
I never watched the Dark Crystal series. This is one of those Jim Henson shows that I always skip because for some reason I didn't like the kind of vibe of it or the kind of fantasy setting that was going on. Mm-hmm. And I've talked to this with JP a couple times. I'm not a huge fan of fantasy. Like, unless it's like a role-playing game where I'm actively involved in the universe, I really don't care. Lord of the Rings was the only thing that got me close, and that was more because it was a mainstream action title that had like fantasy elements thrown in there. Like, I never read the books because they threw too much fantasy, and that's when I gave up. But when it came to the movies, it was cool with me. Especially when it came to the Twin Towers. Half those ships was just action films after a certain point. But when it comes to this, I'm interested, maybe to a certain degree, just to give you guys a good review. And I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the Muppet products that are not, Kermit the Frog and his crew of wacky characters. But, I'm going to check it out. I'm going to watch it. I like it. I've heard great things about the first one, which I got to also check that out at some point. So it's never been something like, oh my God, I'm just not going to watch this film because fucking Muppets and puppets. No, I'm kind of I'm neutral on this, a true neutral, if you would.
Yeah, man, and like just I don't know the camera movement, the shots too, like when someone's like jumping off a fucking hill or whatever.
And I like the idea one of these puppets are gonna die. Like I hope it goes mature like that because Jim Henson is known for doing that.
Yeah, man. No, it's really, really cool. Alan, you're like the film guy of all of us. Like you're the person who watches more shit than any of us, really. So what are you thinking about this, man? Is this something that like you're kind of like tired out from so much shit that you do watch that this doesn't really leave an effect on you, or are you still kind of hyped about it?
I'm fucking hyped because it's one of those things when it comes to Netflix, I'll stand by their original programming. I'll stand by their series. None of their movies. Their movies are almost like 90% of their shit is trash. There's the 10% that fucking films through that people like, but most of their fucking movies are garbage. I recently did a fucking review for one that was fucking trash. But when it comes to the TV shows, I generally love every single thing that comes out except for a handful of other stuff. The issue I have with this, I think the background visuals are amazing, the practical effects are fucking fantastic, and the designs for the characters look good. But my problem when I was watching the trailer and the first puppet comes in and kind of just does the whole puppet walk, I'm like, ugh, this is why I never really got into the Muppets as a kid, because I just don't like the movement. Hey, if y'all like it, that's up to you. Me personally, I never really fucking I never really liked the way they moved. It just never caught me as a kid. I much preferred other stuff. So that might be the only thing that'll take me out. I'll give it an episode. I'll give it a chance, and maybe I'll get past it because everything else looks cool. But the way the characters move and talk, just I don't know. It's irking me the wrong way that I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to stick with this.
Shit, this is something me, you, and my girl could probably watch.
I was watching this trailer and I was like, at first I was like, huh, this is some silly shit. Oh, it's a little cute. As I continued on, it like earned my shit. Like it earned my respect. I was like, dude, like this is fucking kind of cool. Like I forgot the puppetry of the puppets moving and everything. I forgot about that halfway into this, where I was like, am I watching something like legitimately like good? Like, you know what I mean? Like something that should be respected and something that shouldn't be kind of like linked to just nerdom or people really, really liking puppets. Like this is one of those things that are so easy for people that are not into puppets to absorb, I think. Just the way it's done. Now, hopefully it's not goofy and shit when you finally watch it, and it's like, oh, this is just for the fucking nerds. Like, and I'm not trying to talk shit about nerds or anything either. I'm not trying to, like, judge anybody. But I will say, like, when people get comfortable doing nerd content, they're just happy with the audience that is already going to be there. They don't really care about the audience outside of that. This, though, because of Netflix being behind it, I think they do care to get everybody involved and make puppets a big thing again, which would be super fucking cool. I think that'd be really awesome. What were you saying, Alan?
I was gonna say it's one of those things we're starting to learn nowadays is that because cable programming will still try to catch the widest net, but when it comes to streaming services now, actually getting a small dedicated fan base is better than getting. I remember I was listening to a podcast a while ago, and they're like, shows on cable get like 13, 14 million views, but shows like Netflix stuff that maybe only get half that. The people there are more likely to buy merchandise or they're gonna buy stuff associated with the show. Than the 13 million people watching that stuff, because like, yeah, there's nothing really to do there. That's just mainstream kind of whatever the fuck. But the niche stuff, the nerd stuff, the comic book stuff, all that stuff, people are fans that are more likely to buy it if they enjoy it. So it's like there's actually more money in a smaller dedicated audience than a larger audience that doesn't buy anything.
Well, not only that, when you get like that niche money, it gets to the point where you can actually bring back old series like Futurama and of course, Family Guy. Whatever, how you feel about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta tell you though, like you're talking about Family Guy, and I'm like, even if they put so much money into that at a big budget or whatever, it's never gonna look at something as good as this shit. Like, I do not want to see that shit. And fuck you, Julian. You know what I'm saying? Nick, you like wrestling, you're a fucking nerd. I'm a nerd for wrestling, but I don't think that actually makes me a fucking nerd, like, at all.
Oh my man, motherfucker! You want to split hairs? Go ahead. Here's a knife.
Yeah, no, I don't need no knife. I'm gonna pluck that shit straight from the fucking source. Like, no, man, I gotta tell you, dude, like, there's a difference between nerdoms. Like, you can be a nerd for music and sports and shit too, but like the guys that are nerdy for sports, you have to talk to them to find out they're into sports that much. I can tell you, if you're a Pokemon super nerd, you're probably wearing all the nerd shit. Like, I don't have to ask you if you like Pokemon. I don't have to ask you if you like puppets.
No, my favorite is Julian's actively talk shit about furries. Well, guess what, man? That's just a subsection of nerdom. Like, y'all all nerds, people that are not into this shit.
That's something that fucking bothers me. The idea, well, oh man, you're wearing a Pokemon shirt, you're fucking. It's like, motherfucker. Like, the only reason why wearing a fucking like Red Sox shirt or something that in regards to that isn't considered that is because at some point in the last fucking 70 fucking years, sports were men's stuff, and anything that wasn't sports was not men's stuff. It's the same fucking shit. You wearing a fucking your baseball cap to your favorite fucking sports fan is the same thing as you wearing a fucking Pokemon shirt. It's just one person decided it was cool, one person decided it wasn't.
I think what it is that you're wrong. No, I don't know.
No, it's the same fucking thing. Fantasy football and fucking D&D sessions are the same fucking thing sometimes.
No, because D&D session, I disagree. I'm not going to go into a big old thing of saying like one's better than the other or less nerdy than the other, but I will say it's like I can tell when the motherfucker's into D&D sessions. Like Ryan Walterson, I'm not calling you out. I'm saying this in a good way too, because by the way, I used to do like role-playing games with my friends. It wasn't D&D, but it was some other shit. And it wasn't Magic either, so don't even put that shit on me. But, like, Ryan, I can tell was into puppets before he told me he was into puppets. I was like, you like your puppets. Like, you know what I mean? And I was like, and I know he loves animation. Like, just the way he talks, the way he carries himself, he's into animation. For me, did you think right away when you first met me, Alan, do you think I liked wrestling? Did I wear it on my sleeve that much?
Maybe not wrestling, but fuck yeah, I knew you. When you said corn, I was like, yeah, of course. Motherfucker's in the metal? Yeah, of course he's in the fucking metal. Like, that just fucking clicked to me. It's like, yeah, God is in the fucking reggae. Like, or fucking EDM shit, yeah.
But even gaming, too, I can't tell when someone's a gamer. Unless they're really, really wearing, like, the Fallout shirts or whatever. But I can't tell when someone's a gamer. And I'm not saying that being a gaming nerd is less, like, nerdy than being, like, a fucking puppet nerd. But as far as, like, video game fans, they're just, it's so casual. It's like, yeah, I fucking love Dark Souls. I don't wear the fucking Bethesda, or not Bethesda, but the From Software shit.
But, you know, but again, yeah. there are people that do, and it's like, yeah, you might be able to tell just by looking and certain stereotypes. That's just usually the more overt stuff. Like, you could generally tell a sports fan. Like, I'm at work, and there's a lot of sports fans out there. I could just tell based on their gestures, and they're talking about sports, because again, you could just be a very observant person. It's just there are different fucking levels. This idea that we're trying to put one above the other, it's like, at the end of the day, it's all entertainment. So it's like trying to sit there and be like, well, because I like this entertainment, I'm better. It's like, yeah, you like Marvel, someone else likes DC. Go fuck yourself if you think one person is better than the other person.
See, that's the only thing. I don't like those fights, the Marvel versus DC fights, because I'm kind of like, yeah, you motherfuckers are really splitting hairs when talking about, like, yeah, man, you know, Marvel, if you like DC, you're so fucking stupid because Marvel's where it's at. It's like, yeah, they just have different names at this point, man. They're basically the same. The only thing that Batman doesn't have that Iron Man has is a fucking better personality and an actor who actually will stay employed the entire fucking 10-year, whatever the fuck, as well as he doesn't have jetpacks. You know what I mean? And by the way, honestly, I feel like this next movie that's going to come out with Matt Reeves doing it, Batman's going to have a jetpack. I mean, like, why not? Honestly.
I wouldn't need one. Generally, most of his, if it's a solo movie, generally most of his fights require him being in the shadows, and jetpacks aren't really silent. So, okay. And most of the time, if you ever need any sort of flying vehicle, he has a jet. So it's like, he doesn't really need a fucking... Jetpacks are... I'm sorry, everyone likes to think jetpacks are cool, but jetpacks are really, really dumb. Iron Man's the only one that's been able to do that kind of cool. He's the only fucking one that can pull it off. Jetpacks are generally, like, not that interesting.
This is one of the things that kind of goes to Nick's point. Like, I kind of, like... I get where Nick's coming from, because, like, the whole idea of, like, oh, see, this is dumb, but this is okay, and this nerdum. Like, everyone breaks down to subcategories. So I get it when people are like, oh, we're going to compare, like, oh, I feel like sports are better than some aspects of nerdom. Because every, like, subculture, like, the whole, like, Marvel stuff, they have different, like, outcomes of being a part of that fan base.
Yeah, and,
we've talked about it before, talking about, like, gaming culture and just, like, hardcore anime culture, how they just, like, they really pump out these incel type of folks.
Yeah, and sorry if I'm typing so much. I'm talking to Ryan in the YouTube chat. Which, by the way, I'll say this just publicly too. Like, thanks Ryan, by the way, for even bringing this up for us to talk about the Dark Crystal thing, as well as just being so knowledgeable about this shit. Because we're in the after hours. Which, by the way, tonight after hours are after the show. Join us rab.ed/MCA Rabbit. We'll be doing that. But Ryan Walterson, the viewer that's on the YouTube right now, this dude knows so much shit that I just start accidentally learning shit about this stuff, which I think benefits me for talks like this, as well as just like it is interesting. It's just it's hard for entry level like to get into puppets because you gotta dig deep for this shit, man. Like when you said too, I think it was Ganja said it, like, oh yeah, Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance. I didn't even know. That doesn't even make sense as a fucking title, by the way. Like
it's titling like the Transformers movies.
Yeah, like, you know, and it's like that could be fucking anything. Like that doesn't even. That sounds like something that wouldn't be about puppets. Like, well, what is a Dark Crystal? What is it about? Like, I watched trailer. I don't know shit about the crystal, man. Like, you know, I just know puppets and Jim Henson apparently has his name. So I don't know, man. Based on those things, though, obviously this is gonna do something. This is gonna do well for Netflix. I feel like Netflix is really trying to go for those cultures, just like what Gunj was saying too about the nerd and whatnot. Netflix knows what's working. Netflix knows social media, so they're gonna be doing this shit for a while. How long do you think this is gonna last, too, Alan? By the way, about like just Netflix going for this demographic. Do you feel like there's gonna be some other demographic that'll take it off, like horror or action or even comedy? Like,
I think anthology series are about to not burst. They're about to fucking explode. If again, Twilight Zone seems to be doing decently well. Black Mirror's about to fucking come back. There's been a bunch of anthology stuff, but like, I think anthologies are about to explode because once it hits mainstream, because right now it's still niche. Black Mirror is still kind of doing its thing. Same thing with CBS, and most people don't really know what they're doing with anthology. But as soon as people are comfortable with anthology, it's gonna fucking be it's gonna be the next fucking trend. Like the fucking true crime shit is kind of happening right now, where everyone wants to do a true crime story or a superhero shit. Where it's like, okay, now we're doing anthology. Where it's like, wait, audiences are okay with a fucking 40-minute story that doesn't have to go to another episode. Okay, let's start doing these because we could pump them out even if one sucks, the next one will be fine.
yeah, Julian's saying Love, Death, and Robots. Yeah, yeah, that was one, and I think I don't know how many episodes there was. It was like fucking 30 to 40 or some shit. And there's so many fucking episodes. It's like, dude, I gotta watch that. Like, I'm really curious about how that is. Baby Lotion Mob is saying Batman Beyond ain't happening. Studios believe it's just a niche property, and that's another thing too. I think that not just Netflix, but just in the world of movie making, filmmaking, etc. I think Batman Beyond is going to get some kind of. I know you said it's not happening, but nope. Man, I you don't think so either, Alan?
Oh fuck no! Like, I love Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond is a fucking incredible like storytelling. Like, it does one of my favorite things. Batman just gets old, he fucking retires, and trains another Batman. So he basically gets to play the role of the person watching out. Guess what? Batman is telling you how to do your stuff. It does a lot of callbacks to the original series. It does a lot of new interesting stuff. It adds to the fucking lore. It does everything. It does everything that I want with superheroes. Because I'm so sick of this. Like, Batman is my favorite fucking DC hero of all fucking time. But I'm so sick of seeing Batman all the fucking time. Show me a Nightwing story. Like with fucking Terry as Batman Beyond, it's like we got a different story. We could tell a different story with a different character. And the fucking finale is so incredible. And we got to tell a different story that we've told every story with Batman. Batman's been around for 70 fucking years. We've told every Batman story. We're just trying so hard to put him in other bullshit like versus the Ninja Turtles to just make them relevant.
Or the recent storyline is him fighting zombies.
Or some stupid bullshit that it's like, tell a Nightwing story. Tell a fucking Damian Wayne story, for fuck's sake.
And on the subject of telling new stories, too, it's like Batman's not the only situation where this is happening a lot. I mean, right now, and this is the number 8 trending thing on fucking YouTube, but like, Call of Duty, why aren't you guys telling another story? Right now, and by the way, actual in-game footage, but yeah, like Call of Duty had this official fucking reveal for the new game, which is Modern Warfare. And I'm like, look, I hope it's just a title situation where it's just, they just don't want to come with a new title, but like the game actually is different. But my God, like, are we still in that zone? Like, I respect it when they're like in space and doing kind of new things and new tech and all this shit. This game apparently isn't going to have zombies. It's just going to be, once upon a time war again. Alan, I fought you hard on, like, I think it was episode 20 of Unnecessary Gaming Show, and we went back and forth for like 20 minutes. And I have to tell you, you're right. You're absolutely right. I told you that when they said, oh, we're going to have a game-changing fucking thing, it's going to be, but God, I forgot the word they used, but they just said, like, we're going to change the game with this new Modern Warfare. And then it's like, oh shit, here we go. A month later, we get this, and you're literally they just did this 2 years ago with Infinity Warfare, where they give you a remastered version of Call of Duty 4. This is Call of Duty 4 again.
It looked very, very similar. And it's one of those things where it's like, and I'll stand by these words to the day I die, because I say this almost every fucking year. If it doesn't have a HUD, don't trust it. I don't care what the hell it says. I don't even give a fuck if someone's playing it on stage. If there is no HUD in your gameplay, don't trust it. Because they remove the HUD to make it look more cinematic. So they'll bump up the lighting, they'll bump up the visuals, they'll add scripted events that might not be in the fucking game. There'll be different animations that won't work with a HUD in place because that's how games fucking work. Once you put a HUD in, that's the actual in-game. That's what you're playing when you fucking get your controller, keyboard, whatever the fuck.
Well, sometimes you can tell.
Until there's a HUD.
Sometimes you can tell. Like this right here, you can definitely tell. Like that right there, this is definitely in-game actual.
Nah, man, nah. That is not in-game. That gun thing, that is a CGI cutscene. I could see it. It's a CGI cutscene.
Well, does it look too different from Ghost? Because Ghost did the similar mechanic, and it looks pretty much the exact same thing as that. We played Ghost on PS4. It looks exactly the same as that, right? I mean,
in some cases, but in other cases, like I'm looking at the lighting and the flow of that is not fucking in-game. That's not even how angles work with a gun. That's on the wrong side of the screen.
I don't know.
Guns are always like, again, I'm trying to do this from my perspective because how stupid guns are in video games, but guns are always kind of like this. This is on this side. It doesn't actually work like that.
Well, no, but sometimes, like, even in Grand Theft Auto, you could switch, like, what arm, because some people play it differently. Like, I don't know. You can switch the camera and which soldier is going to be around.
Again, sometimes, a lot of times, but that is not gameplay footage. I'll put my money down on that one.
Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. And by the way, you are lagging a little bit. Normally I would just continue on, whatever, but are you on, like, Wi-Fi right now or anything? Or?
No, I'll leave and come back.
Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely do that. But yeah, now I'll just take this time. I know Ganja's...
Shoo out!
Okay, there you are. No, but like the thing is too is like, you know, Ganja, when you first even read about this or even saw this pop up on your Facebook feed, because I know I had to, it's fucking Call of Duty. Were you kind of like deterred by the fact that, wow, Modern Warfare? Seriously? Like...
No, I mean, you talk to somebody that's got, like, how many versions of Fable have they sold us? How many versions of fucking Halo? Like, Microsoft is just notorious of that shit, and I'm a huge Microsoft fan, so I'm used to that shit. Conquerors had literally a remake, with just the only thing new they did was this fucking multiplayer, so they can capitalize on the whole fucking Halo craze. And hopefully get another franchise going with that same idea in mind. But when it comes to this, like, no, it's Call of Duty. People love the fucking game. This is one of the more popular ones of the series, so I'm not surprised that it's getting another re-release.
Yeah, Big Ocean over here saying...
If you're mad at Call of Duty, you should be pissed at Skyrim, because they just got a fucking new super duper deluxe release on Steam today.
Oh my god. that needs to stop, dude. This is literally like RE4 remastered shit all over again. This is fucking ridiculous. Alan,
it's
are you
on
back?
Alexa.
How you doing, Alan?
Yeah, I'm back. What's up?
Okay, hopefully everything's cool now. If it fucks up again, it's not so bad where I can't understand you, but I might have to have you repeat a couple of things later on. But no, like, and as I was saying, Babe Ocean was saying, I just want, Warfare 2 remastered. Like, yeah, that's what I want to see too. But the thing is, like, they could have done that now. That could have been this, announcement. But they didn't do it, as well as the fact that with Infinite Warfare, when that came out, they did a remaster of the campaign for this. Now, maybe the big reveal of this is like, oh, we're going to bring the multiplayer back as well. Or maybe, like I said earlier, maybe it was just a title, and they're just rebranding the entire Modern Warfare concept. And it's not going to be like those Modern Warfare. It's going to be something new, except, like how movies do. Like, there's like 3 different Halloweens. You know what I mean?
Look,
like,
I'm going to say this straight up. Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer is an unplayable garbage fire. I'm not saying now because of the hackers. No, I played that during the day. That is the game that broke me on Call of Duty. Because the fucking bullshit in that game, it is so fucking bad. One, Predator missiles were almost exclusively kill me for some fucking reason. I don't understand it. Every single time it launched, it went right for me. Every fucking time. There is so much bullshit in the air. You just look up and there's like 1,000 fucking jets every goddamn place. Everyone's just shooting everybody. And it's just an unplayable clusterfuck. The noob tubes are just flying across the fucking area. And it's just an unplayable fucking mess. Nah, fuck Modern Warfare.
I'm sorry, I gotta be completely. I had to completely
fuck all
disagree.
of y'all. Fuck the chat. Fuck the YouTube chat. Fuck the Twitch chat.
But dude, like even the maps themselves, High Rise, Dome, Rust, Dome was on MW3, but Rust, fucking Terminal.
Rust was Terminal, Terminal. Those were great maps, but there's also some bullshit maps like the Train Yard map, which was some fucking garbage.
It was incredible.
That was awful. Every single platform is there. It's right by a fucking window. So if you're a sniper fucking heaven. Infinity Ward does not know how to make a map.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I'm going to show you guys this really quick.
Solid is just fucking prove my point. The unbalanced weapons were the best. Yeah, the weapons were unbalanced. Go fuck yourself, Infinity Ward.
But even looking at this, the scrapyard you're referring to, this was fucking great, dude. Like,
No,
I love this place.
Trash. I hated that fucking place so goddamn much.
Or even like the perks and whatnot. That was the best perk system. The stopping power pro, the one man army.
No, because you'd have perks that would make you damn near fucking invisible if you combine them for fucking satellites, so people just hide in the corner with a shotgun. Like, they had to change it in the subsequent games, because in Modern Warfare 2, you could have a shotgun and a fucking assault rifle, just as base stuff. That's why eventually with Black Ops, they added in the whole loadout fucking amount, where you can only have so much power to basically try to balance out the garbage that was Modern Warfare. It is the most broken, unbalanced piece of shit multiplayer that game ever fucking had.
Yeah, oh, and Solace, yeah. Oh man, the double,
all
the dual.
of them were long range.
The dual.
The Remington 1870.
Yep.
That shotgun had more range than some of the assault rifles in the game.
Look, here's the thing. Like, I agree with some of the things you're saying, and Solidus does too, in the sense of like, yeah, they're overpowered. But the thing is like everyone knew the right gun to use. Like, just play everybody's playing, and then it's a level playing field. If you still get killed by predator missiles,
It's not a level
man,
playing
then...
field.
Fuck that! I just say get good, Alan.
Oh,
yeah,
go
no,
fuck
exactly.
yourself, motherfucker. I played that. I tried to. I played that for hundreds of hours. I never felt I was getting any fucking better because the guns were so fucking broken.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I'm not even, dude. They did so many patches that shit was so fucked up. It was almost unpatchable because the new tube was still in there, like towards like the end of its lifespan. So you're not wrong, but at the same time, it's like people didn't complain because they're like, look, this is a pain in the ass situation here. But no one is dying enough to where it's not playable. Everyone has their success stories. Everyone still played it and had a great time. Like, and that's the thing. Like, dude, you know me. I'm not a great player with this stuff, man. I'm not an amazing player at first-person shooters. Julian and fucking Gertzner will attest to that shit on Overwatch. I'm fucking terrible. But, dude, this was fun, and I did amazing. Even my young nephews, like, they're like 5 years old. They fucking did great. Like, it was such a great entry-level game. Like, Call of Duty 4, I lost, and it was not fun. I didn't want to play anymore. This was like, dude, all these maps I learned right away. They were all simple and basic, but yet at the same time had little moments where you learn little things about them. Like, I'm surprised, man. I really am surprised that you feel that way.
You know? I fucking that fucking game broke me. I just couldn't give up. Like, I remember just sitting there. We just got into this fucking house and we're trying to get a situation and we're trying to come up with a battle plan. And mid sentence, I'm like, man, I hope nothing bad happens. And a noob from across the map just hits me in the face through the window. I'm like, these people are just, you'll see them literally just pot-shotting from across the fucking map, and I don't know how the fuck they're landing on there. And it's like, no, I fucking hated the arcadey bullshit that was fucking Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer. That's why I never played another. After that, I didn't fucking play Call of Duty multiplayer games any fucking more. Like, when Modern Warfare 3 came out, I played the fucking, I played the zombies mode, the horde mode, which is fucking awesome. With Black Ops, all I played was one in the chamber. Same thing with Black Ops 2. All I did was play one in the fucking chamber. And I'll name you fucking two, Julian. Rainbow Six Siege and Battlefield. I fucking love the shit out of Battlefield. Because again, the moment I played, like, I remember hating Battlefield 3 when I picked it up. I was like, man, this is just a better looking Call of Duty. I remember saying that to my friends. I'm like, this game is just a better graphic version of Call of Duty. This is some stupid bullshit. But then what I did is I learned how to play the game. I fucking was able to reduce the ammo count instead of it being full auto to semi-auto, practicing how to use the game, practicing how bullet drop worked, learn the fucking environments, and actually feel like I'm playing the game fucking properly.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah. And I felt like I was learning and got better, so I had fun playing the game because the game rewards you on fucking learning. It doesn't sit there and have a fucking 30 broken fucking weapons that all are broken for different fucking reasons, so it doesn't matter if you get good or not, because then some idiot has fucking akimbo shotguns that'll just shoot you through walls at some points.
The thing is really quick too, and I know like we're getting slightly off topic, but it's fine. Because I'm actually very, very curious about this. Ruthless brought this up above, and I'm going to show it right now. But you guys, I'm going to ask the chat, all chats, by the way, tell me what you think should be remastered or remade for current day from back in the PS3 days. Because one thing that Ruthless said, because he was like, I'm laughing at you guys, and he's laughing in the language of Unreal Tournament and Quake. Gotta tell you, dude, this right here, I pressed the wrong button. This is Unreal Tournament 3 from PS3 and Xbox 360. I fucking love this fucking game so much. Alan, have you played this, Unreal Tournament 3?
I played a little bit of it. It wasn't for me, so I don't really have much of an opinion on it. But aren't they... No. I know they're doing Quake. I don't know if that's out yet, but I know Quake is, like, It's about to come out. I think it's only on PC right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you are getting a remaster of Quake. It's gonna come out soon. As far as Unreal Tournament, Epic Games is such a colossal trash fire of a mess right now. I don't think you're ever gonna get a fucking Epic Game.
My favorite is I got this game for free.
Oh, you did? Really? What was your
Yeah,
experience with it?
it was in a PC Gamer magazine.
Oh man, that's old
What the
school
fuck?
as
Yeah,
Yeah.
wait. Why is this free on that magazine in general too? Like, did you get it like recent, like after its release, like 2013 or something?
Probably it was I don't know. It's probably an old copy of PC Gamer, but all I remember was like, hey, we got a free game of Unreal Tournament. So I was like, what the fuck's this? Let me download this. I love the train map. I don't know if it was in this one or another Unreal Tournament that I could play later on, where you have the two opposing teams on a train and you have to come across while the train is actually speeding. So if you fuck up, your character falls in the middle and he's just left behind the map.
Yeah, man. But no, Ruthless saying Unreal Tournament is made for OP weapons. Let me shoot the spinning saw blade that ricochets around the corners. Yeah, that was fucking ridiculous. As well as a rocket launcher that hones in with 3 different missiles that all follow you until you're fucking dead. Craziness. Julian saying Stubbs Zombie, Conquer Live and Reloaded with multiplayer, Orange Box remake of Portal 2. Never heard Stranger's Wrath.
Remake with Portal 2? What? No, I want a fucking sequel to Portal. Fuck that.
Yeah, no, yeah, a remake of Portal 2 would be like, well, because like it's all puzzle based too. So if you played the exact same levels, you'd probably be like, well, this
Actually,
so
Portal 2 is, even though it's a lot of puzzle based, Portal 2 is actually ridiculously incredible because it's like the first one's first one is basically just like what 20, it's like fucking 15 to 20 rooms of puzzles, and then there's a crazy ass escape sequence at the end. But the second one actually has a narrative going on. It's actually hilarious how well it's integrated and how good the narrative is in Portal 2.
By the way, have you ever played Stubbs Zombie or even heard of it?
No, but
that is my jam. I just bought it recently.
Yeah, this game is fucking great, dude. I mean, it's
gory as fuck.
Yeah, I will say it didn't age so well, but that's why I kind of agree with Julian's point on just like this needs to be remade because that fucking thing was awesome.
The zombie system. All right, I have the copy of. I have it right now. Actually, I've been playing it for the past week and a half, so I'm kind of excited that you brought it up. The frame rates per second drops hard when you have more than 5 zombies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's one of those games that, like, yeah, we have a great idea. The character looks great. Graphics are good. But, man, we didn't have enough time to actually make this shit work.
And do you think that's part of the reason why I just didn't, like, get huge? Because I feel like when I worked at a game store, I used to bring this game up, and no one ever knew what the fuck it was. Like, Zombie. I'm like...
I will say one thing about this. The reason that no one really knows about this game is you can't buy it. It was such a broken mess, especially when they tried to emulate it later for the Xbox One and the Xbox 360, that they just stopped selling it on the Xbox store. You can't, like, you can probably find it there now, but they won't let you buy it or let you download it if you bought it.
We got ways around it.
Well, the same thing goes
I have
for
a hard
this
copy, so that fucked them at that point. But when it comes to that was one of the biggest things that stopped it from becoming popular. Because one thing me and Trey talked about this, and the reason I went and bought it is most copies, even if they're not like well kept, are like $100.
Wow, holy shit, yeah. And that's the thing too, like looking at this really quick as well, I want to bring this up. The same issue with not being purchased. I don't really know the reasons why, and I brought this up a couple times, and I think I've gotten shit wrong, so I'm not going to talk about that aspect of it, but Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. You can't get this on PSN Store anymore, and I got to tell you, dude, this was one of the funnest games. This was literally like what I wanted out of the River City Ransom franchise. Like, I just wanted to be remade. I wanted the buttons to feel better when you're attacking something. And by the way, I'm not a fan of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the movie. I think the movie fucking sucks. I don't find it interesting. It's not funny, etc. But this game, oh my god, this game's so fucking good, dude. Like, I love it. And by the way, Julian's saying Team Fortress 2 remake. That's Overwatch.
Not even that. Team Fortress 2 is still going on right now, and it's still being updated and changed. There's also doing fucking Half-Life 2 remake. No, give me a fucking sequel. A lot of the things on the list there, I'd rather just see. Again, if you do a sequel to half those fucking titles, they're gonna be remade. They're gonna re-releases anyway because again, they're gonna be contemporary visuals and better. Because half the time when people do HD remasters, they just make the game look prettier. Unless they want to do something crazy like they did with fucking what was it, Spyro and fucking Crash Bandicoot, where they just build the game from the ground up. But I'd just rather see a sequel to any of the fucking titles that everyone's fucking lit. Now, one thing that Julie is talking about that is one of the best fucking games that no one's ever fucking talked about, and it's upsetting, is a game called Stranger's Wrath. Stranger's Wrath is a Oddworld game in the Oddworld universe when they had like Much's Odyssey and Abe's Odyssey, and then they had Stranger's Wrath. It is this crazy first-person bounty hunter game in which your weapons, like you basically have a crossbow that fires different animals. So you'll have bees that are like a machine gun. Then you have like an armadillo that's kind of like this weird like slug that'll knock people out. You you could fire spiders at people that cause them to turn to webs and shit. And it's just this weird ass fucking world in which all these animals are you're shooting insects. You go from first to third person, and the story is incredibly compelling. It is a ridiculously compelling story, and it's such an interesting fucking world, and it just didn't fucking do well. So they're never gonna make a sequel. They're porting it because fuck it, we're gonna port everything nowadays. But I want to see a sequel to it. I don't give a shit about a remaster. I want a sequel to that fucking game because that game is so fucking good. I would love to see another one set in the same universe.
Yeah, because I'm seeing over here too, and this is something that I wasn't really expecting just looking at the gameplay. I correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to be out ahead of his time. I'm trying to see if I can sync it up here, but basically, he was doing this attributable like upgrade system or whatever. It seems a little bit advanced, but keep in mind, people, I never played this, so I might just be showing a part that seems to be like holy shit. But yeah, man, like, what do you think of the upgrade system in this? Was this something that like if people played it now would be just as good as like a Far Cry or whatever the fuck? Like, is this?
I think again, just because of the at its time, it probably wouldn't be necessarily like holy shit, I've never seen anything like this. And there's probably games that have done some of the similar aspects better, but it's just a combination of everything. I don't think anybody's ever had like people have had we're gonna do a first person shooter with all these weird mechanics like what was it, Bulletstorm, that's trying to be we're trying to change the first person to make them less boring. I don't think anyone's done as a unique weird fucking take on first person shooters as having insects, because aesthetically it's fucking weird as shit, and it's great weird because it fits in with the world so well. No one questioned this shit. It's like, yeah, go find a bunch of insects, shove them in your crossbow, and fire them at enemies, and then you basically Ghostbuster suck them up into a fucking tube and then go sell them. It's like, it's so fucking bizarre, but it fits so well in the world.
Really quick too, and this is probably the last one that I will show in this sense, but yeah, I agree with JP. Sleeping Dogs. No, this game, honestly, it needs a sequel more so than remake. But I will tell you, though, even if they did remake it, I would be really happy because this game had a lot going for it and just dropped the fucking ball for being just, like, after 10 minutes is boring. And this world is so interesting.
This game is boring from the get-go. I was defending this game because I was like, hey, you know what? Okay, because there's actually a very funny story. This is what broke me on Activision. The original title. Do you know what the original title for Sleeping Dogs was?
No.
Ganja, do you know what the original title for Sleeping Dogs was?
True Crimes Hong Kong.
True Crimes Hong Kong.
What?
Yeah.
I'm more surprised Ganja knew.
Because
I'm a fan of the True Crime series.
Okay.
Yeah. True Crimes LA is great. True Crimes New York is a fucking amazing game that I can never beat because it's broken on Xbox. But I fucking loved it.
Underrated game, by the way.
Underrated series. And so basically, a couple years, I want to say this was a couple years, maybe before GTA 4 or GTA 5. I can't fucking remember. But basically, they're like, okay, we're going to do another true crime game. We're going to get a bunch of cool developers to fucking work on it. And the quote was, yeah, we're 75% complete the game, but because it won't do GTA numbers, we're canceling the project. Not because it wasn't going to be good or because it wasn't going to make money, because it wasn't going to do GTA numbers. The anomaly that does $1 billion every time they release a game because that game series is fucking nuts. Oh, it's not going to do as good as that. They canceled it. Square Enix bought basically the rights, renamed it to Sleeping Dogs, and people confused it thinking it was a sequel to Watch Dogs or in the same universe as Watch Dogs.
Oh, wow.
But it wasn't. Then finished the fucking game. That's why it's such a buggy mess, because they took the fucking game and they're basically scrambling to try to get some of the same people back on the fucking job and trying to fix this fucking train as it's falling apart, and then released it. And that's why I'm so mad at it, because I fucking love the true crime fucking games and I want to play another one.
Yeah, and I mean, like, over here, I don't know if it's the same team or whatever, but Judgment, that's somebody that Kirk brought this up in the thing.
Yeah.
He says open world gameplay. This looks like doo-doo, though. Am I looking at the right thing?
This looks like some anime zombie trash.
So, it's actually made by the guys who... Are you looking at the right game?
Yeah, Judgment? I think that's a fucking real shooter, dude.
Dude, this looks like fucking the game guys are playing, not that are alive, House of the Dead.
House of the Dead, yeah.
Judgment, it's made by the guys that made the Yakuza games, and I'm not a huge fan of the combat for those games, so... This one looks better, but I don't think they do combat really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kirk's saying that's not the game. What did you even... Oh, it's called... is it called Judge? No, it's called Judgment over here. I think it's called Judge Eyes.
Okay, yeah, shit, yeah. Thank you, Kirk, because I looked at I was like, man, I'm trying to, like, work with this. By the way, too, like, as far as podcasting go, and this is something that you probably shouldn't do if you guys do a podcast, but never just start talking about something without doing research. The thing is, I actually like looking stupid sometimes, and I just start talking as soon as I'm looking at something. Like, I'm literally... Everything I'm thinking, I'm just shooting out. And I'm like, yeah, this game says, wait, that's a rail shooter. What the fuck?
Yeah, like, look up Judge Eyes PS4 into YouTube if you want to find something real. It's very similar to the Yakuza games. I think the combat looks a little better, but it's very... Okay, it's very Dynasty Warriors, but on a smaller scale. Because when you're kicking somebody, it's not like the Arkham games where you're kicking somebody and you're dealing with one, or even sleeping dogs. It's like you'll do one kick to the side and hit like 5 people and they'll all fly. I'm like,
Okay.
it's just I don't.
My
There we go.
only issue
Yeah.
with this too, by the way, as well. It's something just tells me you're using the right stick to attack these guys, which reminds me of Rise to Honor, that Jet Li video game for PS2, and I fucking hated that goddamn system. Because that
If it's anything like the Yakuza games, no, it's directional. You're just pressing X. It just looks so fluid like that because just they're not good at combat. This company, it's like it's a subsidiary of Sega. I can't remember who they are off the top of the head, but it's like I tried to play Yakuza 0. I think it was free on PS4. I tried my best, but I'm so bored by it. It's just not good for me. And I fucking love, like, you think I would love this shit. I love fucking choreographed fights. I love kung fu fights. It's just not, I don't think it's good. I think it's way too sloppy. I think it's way too Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, too, I was in the right game. It's just apparently inside the game you can play games inside of it, and that was what I was
do that a lot actually.
Which is kind of cool. I like when San Andreas did that. Those games in San Andreas were really, really fun, and I wish they would have brought that more so with like GTA 4 and GTA 5.
Didn't they have a Donkey Kong parody one?
I don't remember that. I mean, I could be wrong because there's sometimes things in there that like I didn't even know that there was like there's like this lily pad game. No, not even lily pad game. You play as a bee in San Andreas. And I didn't know that existed till like way later, and I got addicted to that fucking game, dude. Because like that by itself was so fun. I would have bought that for $10.
I got addicted to being a pull shark.
Yeah, oh, that was fun too. Yeah, like there's a lot of shit that was just cool in those fucking games. But anyways, I know we went way off topic and everything too, and we're gonna get into movies and whatnot now. But yeah, it's just PS3 games. There was an era that was just so good around then and even some PS2 games. I would love for some of these to get remastered or just re-released.
I can't wait for the fucking E3's hinting at they're going to be bringing back Destroy All Humans.
Do you think that's really going to happen, though?
I hope so.
Maybe.
The only reason I have a little bit of hope is if it's going to be a continuation of the original series. The last one ended in like the 70s going on to the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives them 2 ways. They can go into the 80s or they can do a time skip and start off like with a new cast of characters and not crypto and have a different alien. And they can do it in the 90s.
Yeah.
So there's huge nostalgia for both those decades at the moment.
Yeah, man. So here's the thing, though, people. It's time for us to get into the movie. So Alan's going to change his underwear to be red, and it's going to be great. But yeah, flex and chill time. So while we're doing this really quick, I'm going to fix a couple of things because
all these white folks looking at us.
Wait, white folks? Oh, because of fucking
yeah.
Man, why does that bother you? What's your problem?
Because he's racist.
As somebody that is of a native complexion, when I see a bunch of white people staring at me, I feel like they're auctioning off my land.
Yikes! This got deep quick.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
So here's the thing. It's gonna take a minute, y'all. Sorry, I don't know what the fuck goes on with this stupid damn program.
It's gonna take a minute. It's gonna take a minute. It's gonna take a minute for Nick not to fuck up.
Shut up.
That's a new theme song to the. That's a new theme song to the chat attack.
Nick is fucking up.
Wow, you've been watching a lot of cartoons lately. Oh fuck! As YouTube was working, and then I just fucked it up. Oh, stupid me.
Well, go fuck yourself, YouTube. I guess.
No, we'll fix it again. Because I want to see all the comments. I likes me some comments. You know what I'm saying?
Man, Josh, you gotta have stuff. Josh, stop having wrong opinions on things. Legion is a piece of shit. Don't tell me it's the best fucking superhero show on television, you liar.
Kirk said the one on the far left is a Mexican. Yes, he is.
Wait. When did Josh say that, though? He was talking shit about... or you saying the Legion was good?
He's saying... okay, so yeah, Josh on fucking Show That Tells Legion is probably the best live-action superhero show ever. Go fuck yourself, motherfucker.
Alright, let me see this.
Sitting there talking shit about Doom Patrol. Yeah, fucking JP gets it. Doom Patrol is the best superhero.
Fuck Doom Patrol. I fuck with Paw Patrol.
I'm getting... Yeah, Paw Patrol's shit. No, but I'm getting a little like... Man, fuck Doom Patrol 2.
Motherfucker, you never watched that shit.
I know, but everyone's talking about it, and it's like, shut the fuck up with Doom Patrol.
Because it's a good show.
I doubt it. Though? I doubt it. By the way, I guess...
Oh, I doubt it. I never fucking watched it, but, because
Chris Cox told me I should watch it.
Man,
Lord.
Hey, I personally know Chris Cox. Fuck Legion. I'm telling him that when we do
And by the way, just know that no context necessary. Alan just says he knows Cox personally.
I said Chris. I started that.
He definitely knows Cox personally.
Oh no, because if we do a Final Days of Legion or some shit, and Chris shows up, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, man, this show fucking sucks, man. I'm sorry, that show is trash.
I don't know why you must do this. I just do not know why.
He's gonna have his second lockout moment with Alan.
Okay, have you guys ever had that moment yet? Like, has there been a lockout moment for any of these reviews at all?
I have
Not
one out.
not with me, but we were doing in the last episode of the Final Days of Gotham. Sorry, no, their final watch because for Game of Thrones. At one point, Chris and another one of the co-hosts were actually having a discussion because Chris he liked it for the most part. He's like, man, you're overthinking it. And then the guy goes, man, maybe you're not thinking about it enough. And they just kind of go at it for a little bit, for like maybe a minute or two. It wasn't as bad as the lockout. No one told each other to go fuck themselves, but they were trading it. Everyone was just kind of standing back like, hey, you guys fight, man. Y'all have your fun.
We had that on the Untitled Video Game Show at one point. Alan just kept interrupting me because he was trying to prove his point. I was just trying to move on to the next segment. And I was like, all right, Alan, go ahead, man. What do you know next? What? Yeah, man, go ahead. You obviously know what's next.
Backstage, I watched Cox on Spill. My phrasing. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Anyway.
But anyways, now it's time to get into some fucking reviews, and we are ready to do so. So I changed a couple of things, and you guys will see those happen. So if there's a part where you're like, wait, what the fuck? They didn't bring it up last time. These are different. I'm sorry. So first movie we're starting off with is this little film that I did not like too much. Good old Booksmart, y'all. Starring fucking Jonah Hill's.
I'm a bag of dicks. Put me to your lips.
So annoying. So annoying. Just the same. That song is gonna get overplayed like constantly. I feel it's already on this other trailer, Good Boys.
Yeah, more people need to know who Run the Jewels are. So yeah, fuck it.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah, no, it's gonna get killed for you guys too. You're not gonna like it.
I actually don't like that song. I just like Run the Jewels.
Oh, okay.
I do like that song, but it's one of their more mainstream ones. So if that one gets run, there's like 10 more I could jam to.
Y'all want a good time? Go listen to Christmas Fucking Miracle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the premise for this movie, though, really quick, and here's the thing: I'm gonna start by saying like the premise is actually good. The only issue with the premise, though, that I have is the fact that it's very much like another movie that we're gonna refer to a lot during this fucking review, which is Superbad. The premise basically is these two girls are best friends, have been best friends for fucking ever, and the girl on the left, she's going to be for one, she's homosexual, which, you know, at this point, I don't think, and you can tell me if I'm wrong in this sense, but I just think that homosexuality is no longer like, you know, taboo enough to build a whole storyline over. Like when someone's
it is, but in terms of the way they did it. But continue.
Yeah, so, you know, but she's about to do some, you know, shit with her school and whatnot. She's about to go, you know, make something of herself in life. And, you know, Jonah Hill's sister on the right over here, she is basically just going to stay at home and just go to college and do her thing, whatever the fuck. So they're kind of like, yo, graduation's coming up, like this week. Let's just have one last time, just, you know, have some fun, chill and shit. And the girl on the left, I'm going to call her Miss Innocent Girl, lesbian innocent. She has a situation where there's a person that she has a crush on. So we kind of see this continue to build, where it's like, is she gonna talk to this person? She's gonna, like, you know, hang out with this person. Is that other person gay as well? Which is you know, that's kind of a layer of holy shit. Like, this storyline can actually be way better than Superbad, right? Because now there's like layer of like uncomfort or discomfort that, you know, if I was in the situation, I wouldn't know what to do either. As far as premise goes, I'm going to ask you, Alan, too. Like, what did you feel about the premise? And, I mean, obviously, I'm missing a lot of stuff and going to give you extra things to say as well. But, yeah, good or bad, first of all?
How do I want to do this?
Yeah, because I'm really wondering, in a sense of, like, there's not a lot of premise to it. They're friends, you know, about to graduate, and they're going to live life. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I'll let you decide the actual point, because I feel like it's a very generic premise, because we've seen it 100 times. It's kind of a trial true of, hey, we didn't really do anything in high school. Last day we're gonna fuck some shit up and we're gonna do some crazy adventures. So it's a very generic premise. So as far as the up or down rating, I'm not 100% sure what you would like take that opinion as, but it's a very generic premise.
Yeah, and like for me, I mean, I think the premise is just easy to kind of get into. Like for me, I give it a thumbs up rating. But Ganja, I'm gonna ask you really quick too, man. Like, what would you give this, like, as far as positive or negative, like thumbs up or thumbs down for this?
I'll give it a strong fucking thumbs up and a high positive, because the premise is way more than what you described there. It's more of like, all right, so the reason I enjoy this premise so much is it's about these preppy up middle class girls that are destined to become senators or real kind of like people in high society. And the whole time they're in high school is they act like those people. So they look down on the people that are partying, and they look down on the people that they consider dumb or not educated in their eyes. And the whole first day of the whole last day of high school is a wake up call for I forget what the character, I think her name is Molly, for the Molly character, which is Jonah Hill's sister. It's a wake up call for her because they're in the bathroom and she overhears them talking shit to her, and she goes off talking about, oh, I'm gonna be president someday, I'm gonna be a district attorney, I'm gonna have all this, and I'm gonna be educated because you know what I did? I hunkered down, studied, and I worked hard. And as she's about to walk away, one of the characters that's perceived as kind of the hoe character in the series, she kind of calls out and says, yeah, I'm going to Harvard too. And she starts freaking out. She goes, oh, okay, so what about you, man? And she looks at one of the stoner characters. She goes, where are you going? Oh, I'm not going to college. I got accepted to a Google program for programming already. I'm going to get an apprenticeship. So she's freaking out about that. So it's another character that's like a dumb skateboard generic type character. And she goes, what are you going to do? Oh, well, I'm a good soccer player, so I got into Stanford. And it just causes a whole fucking blackout for her because this is one of those preppy girls that look down on people that party, look down on people that are not as educated as her, because she thinks that she's going to get somewhere ahead of people and have more privilege in her life. And it was a wake-up call that no, not only do these people have social lives, had sex, and did whatever they want to do while they were in high school, they also got into college as a big dream. And I love that premise because I know a lot of people that happened to in high school.
I gotta fucking jump on your ass. That was some bullshit. They party and they're suddenly also super fucking smart.
Dude, that happens a lot, especially where
it does not, man. That was some bullshit.
Most of the kids that I know right now that partied and actually like hung out and shit with me doing like frat boy shit within like middle school and high school, they all have businesses or they are working within their actual interest of where they were trying to study. Most of the kids that were generic like good boys and kiss ass to the teachers, right now they're just posting memes about their depression. That's all I see and how they can't get their jobs. So I love that they touch upon that, like, hey, you don't have to be 100% of a book nerd and look down on these people that do have a good time, because then you are going to have good times too, because you're just going to waste your fucking life just focus on the books. And these people sometimes have the same talent as you to get in anyways, so it doesn't make you any better that you spent that time wasting in books.
No, that is some stupid fucking bullshit. That one of the most unrealistic parts of this movie is like, oh hey, we're gonna have these fucking people that were doing all sorts of fucking bullshit at parties for fucking year, but they're also super fucking smart because hey, don't actually work hard in life.
Alan, I used to go into advanced classes before I dropped out. I didn't give a fuck. I just tested well.
And again, as somebody that has literally worked their fucking ass off to get where the fuck they are, like, this is some stupid bullshit just to make basically the fucking jocks feel better. It's like, no, we're just as good as the nerds are, because as long as we fucking work out, and do our cool shit.
I have a feeling Alan is the Molly character.
Yeah, because I actually worked my goddamn ass off. I worked my goddamn ass off, you motherfucker.
And you probably sacrificed a lot of social time to do that, and that's what the movie's about. The fact that people choose such an extreme way to look better than others so they can feel justified in their extreme version of work, that when they get a wake-up call that there's people out there actually living their life and doing their dreams ahead of them and they still got to relax and live their life, they have a fucking mental breakout. And the whole premise is them trying to catch up a whole day worth of a whole 4 years of high school partying in one day of before graduation. And that's where a lot of the fucking chaos assumes. And that's pretty much the premise. And I kind of like that setup because, one, it gives these characters who are like pretty much stuck up people a chance to be redeemable in the audience eyes by giving them a chance to have wake up calls throughout the series.
Yeah, and that's the one thing too about this as well is like you get into a situation too where, because they had to go to party, and that's why I was like really trying to like find my way to like not bring that up because I don't know if that's even like kind of spoilery, and I know we're gonna do spoilers, by the way, like keep that in mind. Like there's gonna be shit in the trailer.
They always talking about we got to get to this party.
Exactly, yeah. But like when it comes to this party, it's like they just go through obstacle after obstacle to get to this particular place, and then it gets to the place, and it's not really what they wanted in general, right? So that's pretty much the premise. And as we go into this too, man, like I mean, the first thing I want to bring up too, and by the way, like except for Alan, pretty much all of us were saying, yeah, this is positive, right? It doesn't get a point for that. But the intended audience, for me, I think that the intended audience were for people that are our age. I think it was for us. My only issue with that, though, is that it rests on that particular, like, I guess, goal. And it's like, yo, did you guys like Superbad? Cool. Well, this is for you. It should have been for high school people. This movie should have been made and done a different way and done something creative and different and should have been about high school and people that are currently young. Like, right now, it's June. This is a good time. I think everyone coming in here is going to be female, and it's going to be people that are fucking already graduated, like last week. So they're already in their emotions, thinking about like, oh man, I'm never going to see my friends, until I'm in the college. Maybe not even then. And that could have been cool, but this was like just douchebag humor. There's so much in here, man, that I just felt like yeah, I'd rather be watching fucking Zack and Miri make a porno or fucking Clerks or fucking Superbad or fucking anything else.
Well, all
For
right.
me, as
At
a
that
thumbs
point,
down.
you got to ask the question: of all these teenager movies the same? Because I have a feeling if I sat you down and watched some of the old, 80s and early '90s teenager films, you would have the same complaint. And I think that's mostly because they have to focus on this age in like everyone's timeline. And for most people that grow up around like this time, that's when they have their most raunchiest comments because one, they're either commenting because they don't know anything, or two, they're just trying to talk shit to seem like they know what's going on. And that happens a lot. That happened a lot, especially with my group of friends. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I found a lot of the banter believable, especially when they're talking about masturbation. We had that conversation just 3 days ago with Alan.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ah,
So it wasn't out
I
the
was about to
realm.
fucking beat her ass.
Like it wasn't out the realm of possibility because friends have stupid fucking conversations with each other, especially when y'all bored and waiting to do something. You're trying to kill time. That's when the best dumb conversations happen. So I got all the banter and their love and friendship. So I felt like it presented itself well for the high school students because honestly, like if you look at the '90s like and '80s films, like I said, it doesn't change too much. Like like high school problems are kind of always be the same. It's just how the technology is done and what is the social culture like. Like for example, this one had a big LGBT moment. We didn't have that in Superbad or any of the early '90s '80s stuff because people didn't care about LGBT problems. The lesbian and gay people did not exist in a lot of teen films, but they go through a lot of the same process of trying to figure out themselves, figuring out the sexuality. And this movie actually gives out a chance to actually explore that with one of the characters. And in my opinion, does it a very, very proper way to the point that it's kind of shocked me a little bit because I think this is way better than Superbad and how it handles sex and stuff like that, especially for people that are high schoolers who are going to go see this because, well, like I mentioned, like Neighbors and Superbad, I think because it's for a male audience, and as guys growing up, we tend to be more gratuitous with our sexual nature and just our jokey humor than women tend. Women tend to do it in groups where we tend to go in the middle of a fucking audience and yell out, "Yo, this girl got a fat ass." We're more abrasive with our shit. So I get why Superbad is like that, but this one was
yeah.
very more centric in terms of like, yo, it's more about the humor and us just talking about this than actually waving around a dildo. But they did do a few scenes like that as well.
So you think the intention more so with this is to actually have some kind of like morality story, or
I
not
wouldn't say
morality, but just
morality, but more grounded in like, this is probably how women actually hang out.
okay,
And
cool.
again,
They're not just trying to put the cookie cutter super bad on it right away.
the thing is, as much as the issue that I do have with this movie is, I think it is good for an intended audience because it is trying to be a snapshot of what it is like in high school today, of what it's like to be in a situation where everyone has a phone, where everyone has access to the internet, where everyone has access to all this technology. And I think for the most part, like for its intended audience, all my issues aside, for its intended audience, it does nail it because it's trying to be for women, and it's doing it in a sense that's like we don't really get to see this a lot there, and it's able to, for what it's able to do, it's able to nail that.
Yeah, and like looking at this too, just as far as story and the character stories, I actually like how they talk about some of their experiences from before. I mean, there's a part where talking about this panda bear and how this girl, on the left was masturbating, with the panda bear. But then it gets to a certain point too, where it's like there's a foundation that's very very good here, where it's like I care about these characters. But then as we progress later on, it feels like the movie is starting to realize like, well, we got to end this soon, and we're still trying to be funny. And I think like their attempts at being funny and their attempts at trying to like finish the story in general, I think kind of hurts the characters because the characters get to a certain point where it's like 45 minutes in the movie where they get to their second house. There's a second house they go to where they think it's a party, but it's not. It's the second party that's not the main party that they're trying to get to.
Yeah.
It's like level 2 out of the level 3s. And when they get there, the movie's like, you know what? Fuck it. Jokes. Like, no more story. And it's like, yo, I was caring. I was literally caring. Now this just became a comedy, and it's not a good one. you know? And that's something that really bothered me. Like, as far as character goes, I have to give this a thumbs down. I didn't really like the story of the characters. I didn't think it did a good job there. Gandra, I'm going to ask you really quick, man. Thumbs up or thumbs down for this?
Overall story, I think it's weak because it does follow the beat to beat teenage rom-coms. Now, I wouldn't say this is a rom-com, but it follows the same premise of that shit, where they have to have these story acts where they're constantly running into chaos before they get to their main goal, and actually they learn lessons throughout it. And this movie is so well done with the lessons and that character development and the interaction between Jonah Hill's sister and the other woman. I think her name was Emily, I think, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Emily, like Molly and Emily's chemistry is so on point, and they feel like actual friends. It's on the level of Superbad, so I want them to interact more. But as soon as the abrasive comedy happened, it doesn't blend well with Superbad because with Superbad, they have an abrasive friendship. Like for example, Jonah Hill character is basically me walking through 7-Eleven with Alan. Talking about, yo, man,
Yeah.
this girl's got fat pussy. Check out these titties on these ones, and they're talking in front of the cashier. As my girl says, I have no house train. So
Yeah.
I get it when some more crazy shit starts to implement into their lives because we established these characters are very abrasive and they don't care what's going on around their surroundings. So crazy shit can happen to them and they just take it as normal because that's who they are. Where these girls are very grounded and they're supposed to be these really intelligent girls that know what's going on. So when they start getting put in these positions where they can kind of see the outcome, they only do it once with the boat where the girl tries to pull out and be like, yo, this is dumb. Like, we should just keep trying to go somewhere else. But after the other levels of the house parties you start, they just drop that completely. And it just falls right into the same kind of patterns of a lot of teen comedies where we have to get to the next point for the next joke, for this next storyline, or for the next character development. It's never really a nice flow to it, kind of like Superbad had. But when you have the characters actually interact with each other, it's on point. So I think the characters are a thumb up, but the overall story is a thumb down.
Okay, cool. And like you, Alan, really quick, man. Like, what you feel? Would you give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down for the story, for character story?
That's always so difficult because as much as there is too focused, there's so many other characters in there, and it's so spotty. It's like, again, I'll have to leave it up to you for you to fucking give the final decision. But as far as the two, it's like, yeah, God said there is some chemistry, but there's so many other people around that kind of stop the flow of the movie sometimes. Like when they get to the first party and it's like this weird, like, we're gonna do some fucking murder mystery bullshit. The movie just kind of grinds to a fucking halt because of some of the characters. So it's hard for me to fucking sit there and be like, oh man, I like this because there's so much bad in that one scene alone that just really fucking takes me out of the movie.
I kind of let the scene slide because some of the characters are extreme version of like Hollywood-esque kids. So when that second like or third party happened, I was like, yeah, this is when the hipsters took over the writing room.
Yep.
Yeah, and here's the biggest thing too, man, and I had to bring this up, is like, story for emotion. Emotionally, I was affected a lot during this. There's times where like they'll play some music and like even when it gets to the graduation scene towards the end, and they're playing like happy, like, yo, like we're driving in this car, we're acting crazy, and then
I'm a
like
bag of dicks, put me to your lips.
there's even a part two where like, I won't say what character, but a character kisses another character. And I had a cheesy smile. I was like, man, I'm so glad like I'm not watching this movie with the MCA crew or whatever, because y'all guys would fucking laugh at how cheesy I was looking. Like, oh, is this a Hallmark moment? But emotionally, it worked on me in that. And then, at the very end, this reminds me of the end of Lady Bird, where Lady Bird, dude, I gotta tell you, I was watching this with Allie and Jet, and I almost cried. And I was like, fuck, like I gotta like hold it together because they will not shut the fuck up if I cry during this. I almost cried at this. And then something happens and it takes that away, but we'll get into that later on. Emotionally, though, man, as far as the story and driving emotion, even when these two fight eventually as well, it did bring me into where I was like, man, this is affecting me, and I'm surprised it's affecting me because it's supposed to be funny and goofy, and even though I'm not laughing at these fucking jokes, whatever that music cue is trying to make me feel, I feel it. I feel it 100%.
Yo, one character took me back to a disappointment feeling that I haven't had since fucking high school. Mm-hmm. When she has a major discovery about someone she was into, and that scene is just crushing. I am not the gender of this woman, nor am I in the same sexual orientation, but I felt that woman's pain, bro.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
Yeah, and like
that was universal.
And that's how you're supposed to do those films.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not supposed to be like, oh, here's a lesbian character film. I'm supposed to be like, yo, I feel for you, girl. That would be me. Shit.
Been there. Like, I've been there. Fucking, I saw that shit. I was like, yeah, I guess I'll just jump into this. Like, it does for the most part. Like, I think sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. I think the musical cues, honestly, I did not like them because I felt like it was too much on the nose. But yeah, like moments like that were able to pull it off. So it's like, as much as, yeah, there were some moments that were good, but yeah, there were some moments that were fucking complete utter trash. But yeah, that specific moment was really good.
Yeah, man, and just in general, like for this like story and emotion, or the emotional part of the story, do you feel like it was effective for you? Would you give this a thumbs up in a sense?
Oh, for me personally, I'll give it a high thumbs up. I think the characters hit emotionally. Sometimes they drop the ball for a joke, but it's a comedy movie at the end of the day, so they're gonna do that. It's not 100% drama, so if you expected that, then what the fuck are you gonna go see this?
Good luck with that.
Exactly,
shit,
yeah. So like, I can't fault it too much for that, but they had such good drama moments that where I felt really emotional character that I was like, come on, no funnies yet. Mm-hmm. And I loved it 100%. The story and the emotional stuff that went down was 100% well done.
Yeah, and how about you, Alan? Thumbs up or thumbs down for you, man?
We'll go thumbs up on it.
Yeah, man, and here's another thing too: progression in the story. Gotta tell you, as much as I don't like certain things, and we'll get into that within our next thing, but with pacing, I will say progression. I do like how these characters are one way, and then they end up another way towards the end of the movie. Yeah. I do enjoy that, and I do enjoy that just physically, location-wise, they are just constantly moving. It's like, every joke has its own foundation and its own room that it's in, and when it gets to another room, it's a completely different style. It's like, I mean, people, there's even a scene in here where they turn into fucking dolls because they're on drugs, and they're all fucked up. And it's like when you get like everything has a section. It's like I don't know if you guys follow the YouTube channel called Movie Clips, where it takes a scene from a movie and it has any context it needs is within that clip. This movie has parts where if I wanted to, I could easily edit this movie into just divided pieces like a fucking pizza, and you wouldn't be confused if you see these in piecemeal. You know what I mean? You don't have to see the whole movie to get a joke. And I like that progression with this. I give this a thumbs up for fucking sure. But Alan, progression-wise, man, what do you think about the progression?
I think that as it has its moments, but I think that there are some parts that the story just drags too much because I feel like it's trying to pad its way out. Because it's doing a lot of different sets and it's going a lot of different places, but something like maybe The Hangover does a lot better because it's a lot quicker. With this, it just felt like it was like, man, come on, okay, I get it. Can we move on to the next set piece, please?
That kind of goes back to my point with the pacing. Like, it didn't know like how to do it right, because sometimes they would do an emotional moment and then go right back to comedy, and it feels very abrupt. Or you just went through a comedic moment and they try to take it back to drama, and it feels like you've just been let down.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like a smooth flow. So that's one thing I have to agree with Alan on that.
Yeah. So I'll make sure to kind of note that in a sense, because here's the thing: we're gonna get into this whole situation. This is where we're gonna get negative, y'all. And I'm sorry. I know that if you guys actually were enjoying this, I apologize if I gotta start talking shit.
No, he doesn't.
By the way, in case y'all are wondering what's going to happen, this might sound familiar for people that are fans of another Netflix show Ganja loves.
Yeah, but here's the thing: entertainment value, the tone. Here's the thing: the tone of the movie obviously is comedy, and it's supposed to be jokingly, and et cetera, et cetera. But my issue with this is it's so fucking super bad, to the point where like these jokes, like for the booze and for the smoking and the sex, and just like, I mean, dude, there's a part in here where these two are in the fucking taxi cab, which, by the way, once again, just like Star Wars, like this fucking universe, this city is so small that everyone's connected somehow. There's even one girl that has like shape-shifting abilities where she just appears everywhere like Jason fucking Voorhees. Like this where it started making me fucking mad, because the tone of the movie is supposed to be these two that kind of like, I'm not gonna say growing up, but like they're moving on. This is like their last week together, so there should be some like, oh, Mike, I love you, let's do some friendship, whatever the fuck. Right away, their first party that they go to, they just split, which I don't even know why they split, and then they split it for goofy reasons. Like, you would think, especially when the characters actually say it out loud, like, oh, this is fucking weird, let's not be around these weird people, we don't even like these people, we're not even friends with these people, but let's stay in this party where we're the only guests at this party. And it gets so cartoony where we're going to eat the strawberries, start acting weird. This lady's going to jump off a cruise ship, into the water. And then the next party, she's already there, dry, by the way, too. And they bring this up. They actually admit to it in the story, in the movie. They say words like, man, how did you do that? That makes no sense. But just like with the Deadpool movie, Deadpool 2, they'll call themselves out on bad writing and then use it as, oh, isn't that kind of clever? No, it's not. Write a better fucking movie. That doesn't make sense. These things do not fucking make sense. And then some of these jokes, I mean, the tone of this is supposed to be kind of goofy and funny in the mid part, because the emotional stuff is kind of saved for either the very, very beginning or the very, very, very end. So the middle, I'm like, okay, I'm supposed to laugh. I'm supposed to be like, oh, this is fun. But I can tell the jokes ahead of time. I told Ganja, dude, we should have wrote this fucking movie because we would have made a lot of money on this shit. There's a part that really, really bothers me where they're in this fucking lift ride, and the character, and I'll show her really quick, the innocent one, the one on the left, she, is a virgin. She doesn't know anything about sex. And at this point, too, by the way, it's like, I don't want to hear any more about you. You've never seen sex at all. Like, everyone's seen, even if you don't want to be around porn, you accidentally come across it at some point. But she doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know how to finger her, even though she has a vagina. So that also doesn't make sense. And Jonah Hill's sister is like, yo, let's watch something. Let me show you what this is like. So, they're fiddling around with these fucking headphones, fiddling around with charged cables, doing all this silly shit. And then, for some reason, at the very worst opportune time, the driver decides to put their shit on the Bluetooth speaker, and you hear the most cartoony lesbian oral sex you've ever fucking heard. Yeah, that was a bit
ridiculous.
And I'm like, dude, this was a setup that took for fucking ever. Like, I'm being polite and, scratching off a couple of things, right? And kind of moving forward with it and skipping some parts in here. But jokes like that do not make no sense. and characters will literally ask, like, they'll say things like, "Wow, that was ridiculous. Why did we do that?" It's like, yeah, why did this movie fucking do that? And for me, I have to give this a thumbs down in that sense. But tone wise, and just some of these jokes and other scenes, man. Like, Alan, I'm gonna ask you, what'd you feel about it? And were you as irritated as I was?
I wasn't. I don't think anyone will ever be as irritated as you are, but there were times where I think some jokes just, that was one of them that really just didn't work out. There was the whole doll scene that I'm like, man, yeah, we get it. We saw the third Harold Kumar movie. I can't really give it a thumbs down, but I did have enough issues. It kind of balances out where it's like, yeah, sometimes it's great, sometimes it's not.
Ganja, how about you, man?
Me personally, I enjoy that. Like, I'm more for these crass comedies, and when they do stuff like that, I feel like there's more entertainment value. Like, we talked about this many times when it comes to comedies and them using sex and stuff like that. It's something that we all experience as kids. So when they talk about sex, or they have sexual action, these supposed to be teen movies. I give it a pass, especially in comedy, because it's supposed to be gratuitous in the sense of it's done in a comedic way. And besides Neighbors, which again, those are college kids, so they're supposed to be in their mid-20s. I've never seen them take it gratuitously. Maybe some of the '80s films, but like this one, when they handle a lot of the sexual scenes, it was done more in a sense of exploration and trying to like understand each other's bodies. It didn't go art film student and have her just eat somebody out in the middle of it for no fucking reason, because that would have been against the character's actual motivation. Because one, she's a shy wallflower, and she would not go all that way in her first experience.
And even talking about that too, like that tone shift as well. This is a situation where at the very end something emotional happens between these two characters. They're fighting each other, or mad at each other. Which, by the way, I felt like the movie was like, time to do this, because that's when Superbad did it.
Yeah.
No, that's one thing that I'm gonna give against the entertainment value was there was a lot of times that it felt like it was copying beat to beats from Superbad, because when it did that, it just threw me off in the movie, because now I know how this movie's gonna end. They had the obligatory, fight of friends. And I'm not spoiling anything for you guys, because if you haven't seen like a movie since growing up in the fucking Disney Channel days, you know this always happens in every fucking movie. There's a point where the good friends, especially in comedies, have an argument and they split. That happens that's happened since the fucking Rugrats films. Like, it's a standard thing, and it happens here.
Yep.
They also do a few other things that happen throughout the film that are standard of Superbad. I'm not going to go into that because those are hardcore spoilers and actually depends on the plot. But besides that, like, the entertainment value was still there. I felt like the pacing was done right, and I felt that they did good for the audience that it was trying to do. So I have to give the entertainment thumbs up. But when it came to like doing the copy of Superbad, it did hurt score.
Yeah. And then moving on, pacing. This is another thing I had an issue with. So the pacing is fucking killer right away, because it's so fast. This movie is so fast. The jokes are coming quickly. I already know about these characters. I already know names of all these characters, which is helping out a lot too. I already know everyone's goal within 10 minutes. So I was like, sweet. And then when it gets in the middle, and when those jokes come, it's like, dude, like, certain jokes last too long. That lift joke that I was talking about with the porn thing, way too long. Another thing too that lasted way too fucking long as well is the artistic portions. Like Jonah Hill's sister, she has a crush on this guy, and when she sees him, they go into a musical, and it's like, I'm not gonna discuss like what happens with her character later on, whatever. But it's like we kind of know what's probably gonna happen. It's probably not gonna be the best news ever. But we're seeing this scene play out like as if we're supposed to be fucking surprised. I'm not fucking surprised. And going back to when we said that this got a point for his intended audience, which is us, grown ass fucking people. You're really gonna make us watch this goofy ass, not funny but goofy fucking musical number, this dance? It's silly, and we already know too that's not actually happening in real time. This is in their fucking head, and it just keeps going. And then they do the same thing too, but in a sadder version, where the other friend is swimming in a pool of a bunch of basically almost naked 16-year-olds. And they keep bringing up the fact that they're 16, like, over again. You know what I mean? When everyone's, like, naked like that. And by the way, I'm very fully aware that these girls...
Are you sure about that? Because in the dialogue, they mentioned that everyone's 18.
Or at least... And they're graduating high school. They're 17. Yeah. I don't... That's the thing, because you mentioned that earlier. Where they're, 16-year-olds. I'm like, I don't think they ever mentioned anyone's age.
There's even a dialogue exchange that some of them are in their 20s already.
One of them is. That's the only time I ever heard age discussed in the whole movie, and it's like, I was paying attention to it very closely. It's like that. I actually found that fucking hilarious. That sequence.
Well, when she was in a pool swimming.
No, in the pool swimming. But the only time they mention age in the movie is one of the characters is like hitting on a teacher, and he goes, "You're 20, right?" And it's like it just cuts from there.
And the only reason I give it a pass is they're all seniors. It's not something like, for example, not Fast Time, my favorite movie, Dazed and Confused, where it's a mixture of different classes. Mm-hmm. These are all senior parties. They're not going to have freshmen there.
Okay,
So most
for me,
most these people are like 18 and above already at this point.
Okay, and maybe I don't know, because I know that like it makes sense when you guys said like we had to graduate so they wouldn't be 16. So maybe I just heard that incorrectly. I don't know. Maybe that's just my fault. But it's just like you know that she's lesbian. It just so happens that every butt in the fucking water is a girl's butt, and I'm like, okay, are you just like perving in there? Like what are you doing?
Nah,
and it
man,
takes
'cause
forever. It takes forever.
They did the exact same thing in fucking Superbad, where one of the fucking like again, the McLovin looks like he's fucking 12, gets fucking laid, and it's like, oh, it's only because it's. I'm not trying to put this on you, but some people are like that. Well, oh, because it's a young girl. Well, suddenly it's different if it was the exact same thing, but it was a young dude. Because again, there are half naked dudes there, the fucking in the pool as well.
And again, to use McLovin as an example, there's a scene where he stares at another chick's ass walking through the hallway.
No, yeah, and even that I had an issue with back then. But
This movie has way too many similarities with fucking Superbad now that I'm thinking it.
Yeah,
No, it is, but it's like, yeah, that.
And some of them we can't bring up, by the way, too. Like, there's a
But
couple.
then again, let's not pretend Superbad was a unique fucking movie. Let's not fucking pretend that.
Oh no,
absolutely.
that's why I said in the beginning. Most of all these teenager films are a copy of a copy. It's just a different decade, so they're allowed to go more mature and take on different subjects.
Yeah, like Superbad is just Dazed and Confused for like 10 years ago.
But
like,
on the pacing of that, it's like even that argument that happens at the end, it gets to a point where these characters are arguing, and it doesn't fit what happens in the story. It's like, okay, you guys are that mad over one little disagreement, and then they bring up lots of shit that we're not even supposed to know. It's something that's happening within the character's brain, just like Superbad. But the thing is, at least Superbad, had a fight, and then like Evan and his reason for lying about something we actually heard in a different dialogue when Seth was in the same room in Superbad. And here we don't hear that dialogue, so it's a surprise to us when Jonah Hill's sister hears it too. But then the worst part about this is that the dialogue gets muted for artistic sad music. And I'm like, okay, that is fucking lazy. You just turned off the fucking music or the audio, so we don't hear that you guys got nothing to fucking write for that scene. Nothing.
Well, okay, but the thing is that scene, like, that's the only one of the. I actually did enjoy that when it got to the party, because again, that's when the movie kind of decides to stop again to go through its obligatory party portions. But when they're having that dialogue, that's probably some of the best dialogue in the movie. I know it's kind of a low bar, but it is some of the best dialogue in the movie because again, we're breaking down the characters and we're explaining like the character motivations. When it cuts off, it's only like 3 or 4 words before she basically not audibly, but like visually tells her to go fuck herself or fuck you. At that point, it's us. So it's really like they get most of the dialogue out. It's just afterwards where it's like, yeah, we kind of get it, but let's just kind of show it's like, yeah, this is that splinter in the friendship, and we're not sure what's going to happen afterwards.
And that scene lasting as long as it did was kind of an issue too. And then literally right after that, and this is why we're on the topic of pacing, and it's like right after that, she just rushed into a scene with another girl, and I can't tell you what girl it is, but it's like it's just rushed right into it. And there's reasons why, like I can understand like where the writer was coming from. Like, yeah, when you're upset about something, you're so full of passion that you do something that you probably shouldn't do.
Yeah.
But the situation is like, I know that this movie is gonna end soon, and the fucking movie knows too. Because the movie's like, yeah, we spent so much time doing stupid jokes.
That's
like
one thing I do want
audio.
to touch on, like continue on with the pacing. This movie didn't know when to end because I felt like this movie had like three or four endings.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the last ending, and it's still on the topic of pacing too, and this is not going to be a spoiler, but there's a frame. Like I'm telling you, the actual ending of this movie is not longer than 3 seconds. It's like that's how fucking short the actual ending is, and it's an ending that negates the entire journey on how we got to this part. And I'm like, that's a troll. That's a fucking troll. You motherfuckers with this ending is. I was so fucking mad, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even understand I was so fucking mad.
I hate the ending, too.
Yeah. And it's like,
the only reason I hate the ending is it was a complete ending. And then for some fucking reason, they felt the need to just... I don't even know why, because they didn't... It's not like they did a montage after that, which would have been cool. No, it just ended.
Well, they want to subvert expectations by subverting expectations, but not doing anything with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's all it was. It was, oh man, the audience thinks this is gonna exactly end like every other movie. No, zeitgeist, hey, we're gonna go get pancakes. It's like, okay, and what are you gonna do with that? Nothing. Okay, cool. Roll credits.
Yeah, there's one thing you were kind of already spoiled it, Alan. But there's one thing that
I'm sorry. Okay, that has a spoiler.
That is a spoiler. But this is one I'm not gonna continue to spoil it because fuck it, you already opened the door. I might as well walk in. When that scene happened, man, that pissed me off because like I could have swore my flight was delayed, and even if her flight wasn't delayed, that is still a shitty ending because you just had this like really sad a moment of acceptance or letting go of something and trying to progress into the future and being your own person, and that all gets negated for nothing. There's not like a montage of them doing crazy shit, getting to the pancake or getting pancakes and have them do dumb shit before they get back to the airport. No, it's just ends to a fucking screen of them getting hit with water balloons.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was stupid as fuck. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, it's so frustrating, and I'm like, yeah, man. All I'm saying really, as far as the pacing goes, it's like, because I mean, like me hating the ending should not affect the rest of the movie, but it's like the movie will stop at a halt for other shit, and then with shit that's not interesting and shit that stops it even more, like no, let's focus on this, and it's like you motherfuckers are like getting cocky towards the end, like, well, if you guys are already here, we'll just take advantage of it because we're not making a sequel. We're not going to make any money off this. So, yeah, strap yourselves to your fucking chair. Put the handcuffs on. You're our fucking prisoner. You're going to sit right there and watch this shit. I'm like, no, fuck you, dude. Like, if it wasn't for this review, I would have fucking left. That was some bullshit. And for me, like, yeah, that gets an absolute thumbs down, man. Like, that pacing is some poo-poo. You know, but, and I don't know if you guys agree with that, too. Like, Alan, I'm going to ask you, I know I went off on a huge-ass rant, but pacing-wise, like, I mean, overall, do you think it's good or bad?
I think that it's inconsistent, so it's like, yeah, especially in the third act when it's like we're kind of going a bit cliche. So I'd probably have to give it a thumbs down as well.
Yeah, and you as well, Ganja?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Over here, dialogue. I like the dialogue. I think that these two, their conversations, I want to see them in more movies together. I feel like they have really good chemistry. I like the parents. I like the principal.
Oh, the parents are fucking trash. What are you, dude? Her mom, which basically like that woman from Friends, and that dad are the worst. That just makes me almost want to shoot myself hearing those two.
Really? Why? I'm really surprised by that. But
oh, it's so bad. Oh my, I don't even know what the fuck they're going for with those two.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll be honest. I didn't like the parents either. If I wasn't like watching it with Alan, we would have been like, "Yo, want to skip it?"
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And it adds nothing to the movie. You could skip that dialogue, and it doesn't affect the movie in any way, shape,
It's not like they come back.
Mm-hmm.
They do come back for 2 seconds.
Yeah, but it's for another bit, so it doesn't matter.
That bit also doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I mean, I just feel like, you know, everyone's dialogue was pretty much okay. I felt like even like when they're at the parties too, like when two characters are starting to kind of hit it off and kind of flirting a little bit, I'm just like, okay, I get this. This actually kind of works out. You know, if I was there too, I'd probably be like really into this conversation as well. You know what I mean? But Ganja, thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs down.
Thumbs down. Okay, how about you, Mr. Alan Shakazine?
If we're still on dialogue?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thumbs up, thumbs up.
Because I felt a lot of it was mostly straight. All right, so it had a lot of original moments, especially with the Emily character. But besides that, it was just generic comedy stuff. So I'm not gonna just give it a thumbs up in terms of like praising as the best dialogue. If anything, I would give it a middle one, but we don't have that option, so it's a thumbs down.
Okay, cool. And here's the main thing to discuss here is innovation. Now, usually I had two different sides for innovation here, but here's the thing. I don't think this movie did anything new. I think this movie is completely just not innovative at all and didn't invent any kind of way of doing movies or filmmaking, whatever the fuck. But I'll give you guys a chance to disagree.
Honestly, I should say this could get like it shouldn't be judged on innovation because it's a teen comedy. They really don't innovate outside of that because again, it's going through the aspects of childhood, except for adding certain elements to the future like the kids deal with in terms of Lyft, certain phone calls and apps and stuff like that. They don't really change because adolescence is pretty. It's pretty much experienced across the board the same way unless you have something out of the ordinary people perceive like suburban growing to be different than normal people,
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I have to disagree because
you bitch.
Look, we literally just said that Superbad is just Dazed and Confused for a new generation. This is for this generation. So if you take the issues outside there and take the fucking story structure, because guess what? Stories are structured in very similar ways. Like we just said, we did 3 different movies for 3 different generations that are structured almost identically. When you're taking a look at the differences in what they actually did, it is innovative because it's taking aspects of this current generation. Ubering being a common fucking thing and saying, oh, we got to catch a cab, oh, we got to run for a bus. Doing the different the phone percentages being a major problem that wasn't in those other 2 fucking movies. The LGBTQ stuff being so normal that nobody sits there and calls us like, what, you like us? Like, no, it's such a normal fucking thing that was not something that was in our generations prior. So I have to actually give this part a thumbs up for innovation because as much as it takes a cookie cutter model, it does so many different things to update it for the current model that this fits for generation that you could show Superbad to this generation and they'll get some of it because some stuff's universal. But I think people would gravitate more towards Booksmart because it fits more to the current generation. Get a 17-year-old and watch them watch Booksmart and Superbad at the same time. I guarantee you they'll enjoy Booksmart more because it fits more to their generation. Whereas us, Superbad fits more to our generation.
Yeah, so overall, guys, here we are. Alan gave it a 5, Ganja gave it a 5, and I gave it a 4. So in total, 14 out of 30 is our official score of this fucking movie.
Yep.
And I gotta tell you, man, I'm not very surprised at that particular score.
I'm a little bit.
You are?
Yeah, 100%, because I love this fucking movie.
You do. You do. Like,
yeah, I fucking love this movie.
I actually do love this movie.
Yeah, because Double Toaster wise, like, what would you rate this out of the Double Toaster scale?
Oh, high full price.
Low full price.
Low full price. Yeah, for me, it's a rental for me. A good rental though. I think I would have a good time just chilling.
Also, Julian, you can't say Superbad definitely holds up, man. That's like people from the '70s be like, "Yo, Days of Confused still holds up."
No,
yeah,
no, Superbad holds up.
Movies last year.
Because that was you, man.
Okay, you're right. You're right. Because I'm trying to think. Okay, young
that's like
person
me
watching
saying,
that.
"Hey, man, American Pie still's up." Yeah, because you were part of that generation too, dumbass.
But yeah, man, no. So I mean, full prices from them, from me, a rental, and then obviously, yeah, like 14 out of 30 is what we gave this, and yeah. Once again, I mean, if you guys want to watch this movie, I wouldn't say don't. If you're the intended audience, I think it's great for the intended audience, and I guess that's the most important part.
Yeah.
Looking into this, though, man,
me and Julian would debate this in the after hours, motherfucker.
Oh,
American Pie still holds up. But anyways, let's talk about
American Pie never held up. That movie was fucking trash from the start.
Where's my blade?
I'll be chaotic neutral. That movie still fucking sucks. At least Booksmart was actually trying to be intelligent, trying to speak for a different generation, and actually did a lot of cool stuff. A lot of my issues on the side were mostly fucking with Nick, but clearly that didn't fucking work.
Alan, the '90s kids were garbage, and it's that movie speaks to them.
The '90s kids were trash. The '90s were trash. I said those words.
And when I say '90s kids, I'm talking about the ones that were in their 20s when they were partying on like MTV and shit.
Kirk is saying, Alan, like you never tried to fuck a pie before. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know why
I
that's
never
in
did.
the movie.
I'm not a fucking weirdo.
I don't even know why that wasn't in the movie though. Like I never even thought to do something like that. And by the way, there's other things that are probably easier to fuck than a pie. Like that doesn't even make sense. That's such a stupid fucking idea for a movie.
Yeah.
But anyways, moving on from that though. And one of these days we'll probably review American Pie, and that's gonna be one.
Oh hell no! I refuse.
You know what? I'm watching that tonight.
I refuse to ever watch it.
It's on the after hours. Unless Cedric shows
over
up
my
to
dead
save,
body.
Unless Cedric shows up to save y'all, we're watching.
Cedric's in the chat.
Well, we'll talk about that later. But here's the thing: we'll get through this pretty quickly, though. Here. The premise of this movie is that once upon a time, this old lady over here, she gets not in touch, but like she meets these teenagers who are trying to buy booze, and she ends up becoming part of their life. And what she ends up doing is she gets so lost within helping these teenagers, hanging out with these teenagers, trying to give them booze and whatnot, that she turns her house into a party house, or at least her fucking basement. Yeah. And the cool thing about this, though, is that it's a horror movie, and right setup, this premise does not sound like a horror movie at all. It's like, I'm sure it's like...
You're right, because this movie is... I'm sorry, I'm going to say this straight up. Outside the last 20 minutes, this isn't a horror movie. This is a fucking... this is a Cable Guy, but just way fucking worse in every single goddamn way or form. Like, I'm sorry, I was fucking with the last movie being more negative than I needed to be. Clearly, that joke didn't fucking work. This premise is fucking awful. Because it is just this clingy fucking person, and it just doesn't fucking work. All it does is make me feel uncomfortable, but not in a good way, in a way of, I don't want to fucking watch this movie because I'm bored out of my mind.
Yeah, I'm very shocked about this. I really, really am. Because the thing is, like, this movie, and by the way, if you guys are kind of concerned about spoilers, this definitely is a time to go watch something else. Because we're going to have to... there's a couple things that really make this movie, and it is the spoilers. And the trailers are being very, very careful with how they present certain things. So when you start seeing like the Godzilla thing pop up, especially Julian in the chat, definitely come back because y'all, if you guys care about spoilers for Godzilla, you go fuck yourself. But
how the fuck do you spoil Godzilla? That'd be a good one.
Spoiler is in the fucking title. He's king of monsters.
Yeah, exactly. But looking at this, man, premise wise, I gave this a thumbs up. Obviously Alan's gonna give this a thumbs down because he was so bored over certain things. For me, because of the premise, I do think that one of the things I really, really enjoyed about the premise too is that I think it completely it keeps changing. It's like the premise is, this one character, but then you realize, okay, well, she's actually probably not the main character really because we're starting to hear more backstory about this other character who's actually the villain, but then she's sympathetic, but then she's a villain again. It's like, what the fuck? Like, the premise is changing a lot, and I had to give it love for that. And I'm sorry if I forgot this, but Mr. Ganja Guru, did you actually watch Ma?
No, I did not. I got to see Godzilla, though.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that in a bit then. But yeah, very, very shocked about this, Alan. Right now it's 1-0 for us so far. Intended audience, man. Who do you think this is intended for? And also, would you give this a thumbs up?
This is an intended audience for people that don't watch horror movies but want to be in a fucking theater and say they watched a fucking horror movie. This is for people that look at Blumhouse and go, well, here's my fucking wallet. Because that's all it fucking is. It's just, hey, let's just take a bunch of Blumhouse, let's make this fucking movie for $35 fucking dollars, set it mostly in bumfuck fucking nowhere, and just hope enough people that watch fucking horror movies are gonna sit in this fucking audience and watch it because, hey, we kind of edited the trailer as a horror movie. So as far as intended audience, I don't even think it fucking fits that because there are way better Blumhouse fucking movies than this shit. Like fucking Halloween came out last fucking year and was a way better fucking movie than this is. So as far as its intended audience, I don't think it fucking hits the goddamn mark. I think this is I think the trailer hits the intended fucking mark for the people it's trying to go to. The movie itself is you're saying it completely changes premises. No. Its premise stays the entire fucking way until the last 20 minutes, and then it just fucking changes the whole fucking movie. So no, this is a fucking thumbs down.
Okay, yeah, and I'm very shocked by that too, because for me, the intended audience, I feel like this audience is, or this movie is for the audience who wants to see just a generic, basic B movie horror movie. Because the way the trailer's cut too, we all thought it was gonna be some cheap bullshit, like, and honestly, I think that's what Get Out was gonna be too. Like, I know I was wrong as fuck about it because it looks so cheap and looks so crazy. It looks so like, man, I cannot believe this is actually a movie. And then you watch it and you're like, holy shit, this is some high quality shit. Now, I don't like that high quality shit. I didn't like Get Out. This was something that was like, yeah, you're gonna watch it and nothing's really gonna happen. It's literally what the fucking trailer is. But at the same time, these little, these little tiny little things change the entire tone of the fucking film continuously. I disagree with you big time on the whole like it doesn't change a lot because I feel like right away, if you didn't see the trailer too, by the way, if you just came into this movie just watching it just for the fuck of it, like you don't really realize what you're watching because the intended audience, granted, they're probably horror fans, but being a horror fan and getting a movie that's not necessarily a horror movie is still effective. And I think, if I was someone who was expecting a big bloody horror movie, I'd still be happy with this being what it is. So I gotta give it a thumbs up, man. Looking into this next thing, man, the story of the characters, just on her alone, just on Octavia Spencer's character alone, Sue Ann, who plays Ma, or whatever the fuck, I missed that.
Yeah, no, you got
it. Just her backstory alone and just how she reacts to all these characters who are still bullying her and dealing with her shit and treating her bad and taking advantage of her niceness and kindness and treating it like it's stupidity, like, oh, the stupid old lady. I am so behind this character so much, and there's such an unpredictability about her as well, where she freaks out, and she's not freaking out just to jump scare you because there's a reason why she is freaking out, and there's a reason, there's things that she is hiding. And, there's characters that haven't even been revealed within the story yet, but her reactions to things are building up these reveals for later on in the movie. So character-wise, just her alone, I had to give this a thumbs up. But even the other characters, this character, she's played by Diana Silvers, who's also in Booksmart. But the main character,
that's what I noticed. I'm like, oh man, that's on actors twice today.
Yeah, exactly. But Diana Silvers, she's in this movie, and she's like the main character with Juliet. I forgot her last name. But she's in Cape Fear and whatnot. But like her and her mom have this whole like dialogue going on, building up their little story as well. And it's like character-wise, like I feel sorry for her. Every time that she's like by herself, I feel by myself as well. I think that the camera shots and etc., just like the music being played and kind of being muted, makes sense when she's like new to the school and doesn't have friends. I feel like how she like I think the movie's trying to make me feel like her, and I feel it. I completely feel it. But yeah, man, like with that said, story and character, like what do you feel about that? Do you think the character was done well? Would you give it a thumbs up?
No. Every character in this movie is fucking awful. The main fucking again, the main group of fucking people we follow have almost no personality. Most of this movie focuses on Octavia Spencer's character, who basically is just this person. It's like, well, she keeps being abused. I wonder at what point she'll snap. Like as soon as you walk into the fucking movie, in the first interaction you deal with her, you're like, yeah, this person is fucking clearly mentally unstable. Then it just goes to every character being fucking stupid of, hey, come over to my house. Why would anyone ever be that fucking stupid? I don't care how stupid you are as a fucking teenager. And then there's a fucking situation that happens in there, and when she fucking she does some stupid bullshit in the house the first time they fucking get there, and I don't care how fucking much you want a place where you can party, everyone's just getting the fuck out of there. Every character in this movie is fucking stupid. Most of these characters barely get any fucking actual backstory except for the main chick and the main dude. The fucking friends there are one note and just hang around just to say fucking one-liners. The black friend there is just there to point at the camera and basically like basically point at Octavia Spencer saying, "Hey, what's up?" the whole fucking time. Because they barely, as soon as she said, "Hey," and then she goes, "What the fuck are you talking to me for?" And then they just forget about him. That's been half the time forgetting about half the characters in this fucking movie. So characters have to get fucking thumbs down because everyone in this movie is awful.
All right, man. Well, here's the emotion. Did you feel emotional during this, other than the anger that you're displaying? I mean,
Not
was,
intended emotion. I've boredom and like just waiting again. It's like staring at a pot waiting to boil. You know, the fucking tea kettle's been on there for a while. You know it's gonna happen eventually. You're literally just fucking looking at a clock, going, "Yeah, we get it. How much more fucking like fucking bullshit do you have to play?" Like the fucking what was it? The Curb Your Enthusiasm theme is playing throughout this entire fucking movie. Every time Octavia Spencer's character shows up, they're like, "Oh well, my boss keeps yelling at me because I'm not doing my job." Yeah, I know you're trying. I know the movie's trying to make it seem like her boss is up her own ass, possibly racist, whatever the fuck. But she does spend half this movie not doing her fucking job. So it's really hard for me not to sympathize with the boss when she's on her phone, doesn't prep the animals, stares out the window, doesn't answer the phone calls, and then leaves.
Yeah.
What?
No, busy stalking people and shit too, which it's like you see what she's doing on the phone and you're like, well, that's not good either. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be doing that. You can't even like say, "Hey, boss, I'm doing this. It's really important." You can't even do that. You're like, you're doing villainous shit. And the thing is, I feel like the flashbacks don't happen fast enough because, you know, a certain flashback that makes you feel sorry for her doesn't happen to a point where it's like this. I'm looking at the chat too. They're saying Alan hates fat. Alan's
Watch this
hate for fat
fucking movie.
women knows no bonds.
Oh fuck this fucking.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like, and I hate to, because I almost feel like I'm trolling you a little bit, but like, no, I think emotionally, like, there's a part where, you know, she's driving and she's actually in the middle of doing another group of teenagers a favor, and they do some more bullying to her, and for one, that bullying that they do to her actually acts like a jump scare, so it's like it scares the audience, and I was with an audience that was like, holy shit, what the fuck was that? And when it happens, she just bursts into tears because her acting is so fucking good, like her emotional pain. I felt too. I was upset. I was like, oh man, that's fucked up, man. Like, and this is a girl who's already done some pretty villainous shit at this point. She's already done some bad things, and I still felt bad for her. And I was rooting for her until things got a little too crazy. But you know, and this is that movie that's gonna be like that. Like, it's a horror movie technically, what they're trying to do, or a thriller. So you know she's gonna turn like full villain. But the rise to that, I was like, I felt sorry for her. Not in a sense like I was rooting for her. Like, yeah, you get them teenagers. Wasn't doing that. It's not like some Thanos shit or some Killmonger shit. But it was definitely some, like, I wish that she wasn't being treated the way she was, and I felt bad for her continuously. So, you know what I mean? Like, that was something that was pretty effective for me, too. But then going into progression of the story as well, I had to give this a thumbs up just because of the fact that, like, well, I mean, I'll hold back on that as far as the thumbs up go. Because the thing is like, this movie, once upon a time, it's about Ma and some teenagers, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, she has this issue with the parents of these kids, and I will get into that in a little bit too. But aside from that, this movie doesn't really move away from just the fact that she's at this house and people are drinking, and that's literally. It's kind of weird. The movie's really based around alcohol and just chilling for that much, you know, of the
That's
film.
the whole movie. That's legit. The entire fucking movie is just we're just doing a bunch of party montages until something kind of happens whenever we kind of feel like it. But these characters are so stupid that they just forget about it half the time.
Yeah. And it just doesn't make sense, too, because progression-wise, you would think that people would progressively realize she's fucking nuts. Let's get the fuck out of here. That never happens. Like, literally at all. Like, I mean, our main character does that, too, and I guess that's what matters, and that's what we're basing it on, the story of character and whatnot, too. But the other characters, as far as, like, the whole entire, like, town, because it's a small town, and all these kids are filling up this fucking place where it looks like a big city town. You know what I mean? But progression-wise, I will say it doesn't get away from the fact that, yeah, it's a party at Ma's house, the end. And as far as that goes, too, in entertainment value, the tone of this movie, I feel like the tone of this was always like unnerving. I was always feeling like uncomfortable, like, oh shit, like what's gonna happen? Yikes! I was always expecting something, not just because of the genre of the trailer, or it's just because Ma's reaction to shit, where she was away from the other characters and she was losing her shit and acting all fucking freaky and disturbed herself, and that always had me on edge. Alan, were you always on edge watching this movie, man?
I was never on edge because it's one of those things where it's like as soon as you meet the character and within the first interaction, you're like, okay, this person's disturbed. So if you didn't watch a trailer, you're like, okay, this person's clearly weird. They're acting a little bit too friendly. So I've seen a movie at some point in my life, so I kind of know how these things will almost go. But it was that situation where it never felt earned. It always felt, hey, we already know where the fucking we already know where the finish line is, and we'll show up there eventually. It's like tippy toeing, and then you look away, and then an hour and 30 minutes later, we're at the finish line. It's like it never feels like we earned any fucking distance we ever got with this character. It just felt it was a bunch of random BS stuff happening for no fucking reason, most of which is her fucking fault. And eventually we get to that point, but it's like the tone here is so dreadfully dull for most of it that it almost when things start going crazy, it's like a flip of a switch, and it's like, well, fucking finally something's happening. So the tone of this is fucking awful.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to disagree with that again. I'm really surprised here, man. But yeah, I guess I see what you're coming from in that sense too. But I did enjoy it. Now moving on to the pace of the movie, that's where something does kind of get in my way as far as enjoying this. The pacing, I feel like it was fine where storyline things kind of keep happening and there's reveals that keep going on, but there's parts where I just feel like they kind of move too fast away from certain things. Like, you know, when Ma freaks out and then she's like, "Hey guys, like I'm so sorry, let's go meet up at the rocks and chill for a minute." Then we're just at the rocks. It's like you guys didn't have a dialogue with your friends. Like, should we even go there? Is she gonna fucking kill us? Is she gonna pull some shit over there? It's just kind of weird. Like, you know what I mean? It just things move so fast. I just don't get it. You know, there's other things too, like, you know, the action at the movie. The very end, everything happens within 5 minutes, and it's almost like, dude, this is kind of a horror movie, so there should have been the physical stuff happening a little bit sooner, because as far as that goes, this movie is just building up to a fucking explosion that we know is going to happen. So at least keep us entertained while we get there, because for people like Alan, if he's not enjoying the storyline, he ain't going to fucking want to sit there to the very end. But you, man, pacing, what would you give this? A thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs down, dude. Of course it's fucking terrible. Like, it's a fucking snail's pace. I've seen way better. This week, I've seen way better fucking psychological thrillers than this fucking bullshit, so...
Did you at least like any dialogue? It's really fucking hating
No! No, there wasn't a single line of dialogue, because everything here is passable. Everything is here is as much as it needs to progress the story. If I either hated it or it was just generic, because again, there's always that level of dialogue that's the foundation of a fucking movie that gets the character from one point to another. So it's like, yeah, that was fine, because you have to have characters, you know, acknowledging the world they exist in. But there wasn't anything in there that stood out, because most of it is just, this is just god awful. Like, again, there's some scenes that happen in the first few minutes of this movie that I'm like, why would you ever stay here? Why would you ever stay in this fucking house, you crazy people?
God damn, you really do not like a single fucking thing here.
No.
You realize you're about to get this as 0 right now.
I'm good.
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
good. It deserves it.
I don't think anything innovative happened here at all. I gotta tell you, innovation of story. The only thing I feel like that was innovating as far as the story goes is I do like the fact that this character goes between sympathetic to villainous to scary to fun to comedy. This naturally fits in like 5 different categories and genres of film. I really do feel like this fits a lot of stuff. Can you at least admit that innovatively, like, this actually does fit many different genres?
No.
My God.
I don't have to make goddamn shit, because this is just Larry the Cable Guy mixed in with the fucking last movie we just goddamn watched, where a bunch of kids just want to fucking party during high school because, hey, their time's running out. It is just Superbad meets Larry the Cable Guy set in one fucking environment, and it just repeats the same set piece. Like, they just keep going to the party, and it just slightly gets weirder, but then they get forgetting about it, so it's like rinse and repeat. This movie is a 30-minute fucking short that got extended to an hour and 40 fucking minutes because they realized they had fucking nothing. This movie has fucking nothing. There's nothing innovative about it. There's nothing interesting about it. The characters are all character types. There's nothing in here that I could think of as innovative, because anything that I could kind of think of maybe near the end is barely talked about, so it doesn't even fucking matter as far as the movie's concerned.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, but here's the thing, I'm really surprised by this fucking score, but officially, Alan's giving this 1 point. No, not even 1 point, I'm sorry. God damn.
But I can give this movie shit.
That's a 0.5, dog.
Yeah, that's a 0. I gave it a 7. In total, it's 7 out of 20 out of our 2 reviews. And I gotta tell you, I'm very surprised by this. Double Toasted score, what'd you give this? A bullshit? A fuck you? I mean, how mad are you about this?
I'd have to give it some more bullshit, because it was mostly boring. Like, this isn't something like Mother where I was legit fuming during the course of this, because that I always go to that, because that was one of my first buckets, because it was legit fuming watching Mother of how angry I was. This, I was bored out of my mind until maybe the last 15 minutes, and then it does stupid shit. Like, I legit, like, if people actually don't give a shit about spoilers, in the after hours, I want to talk about some of the dumbass bullshit that happens in the fucking climax of this movie because it is so stupid that I don't understand. How the fuck did you go from Booksmart, a legit good movie that speaks about this generation, even though it takes a lot from other generations, and then watch Ma and go, man, this is some fucking great ass movie. What the hell were you watching?
I'm very sorry, but we will talk about that in the after hours. Now it's time for the big one, Godzilla King of the Monsters. The premise is Godzilla King of the Monsters. Shall we move on, folks?
Yeah, pretty much. Next.
Yep. I mean, it's one of those situations too. By the way, I just want to put this out there as well. That's Anne's family, numbnuts.
No, that was Pink Panther.
No, that's the beginning of fucking Godzilla. That shit just goes dun 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 dun.
Really?
No.
Yeah, were you not paying attention? Every time he showed up, they played the old school intro.
You're saying da-na-na-na?
Yeah.
Oh,
You were doing the Pink Panther theme.
No, I was doing the hip hop version, the one with Medman.
Okay. I literally have no idea because now he's saying Redman and Meth Man. I'm thinking of P Diddy, like, come with me.
Man, fucking all right. You know what? We're all right still. We're all right still.
I say we're all wrong.
No, it's definitely not gonna work. Very, very wrong. The premise, I will say, it being Godzilla King of the Monsters, that's really all you need to know. Was this what you were expecting for King of the Monsters? Alan, I'm gonna start with you. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Is this legitimately a good Godzilla King of the Monsters movie?
Yeah, as far as the premise, yeah, this is what you kind of expected. You kind of expect a situation in which it's kind of the beginning where you had the first Godzilla, and then it's like, oh man, the world just got introduced to it, and it's like, again, I feel like this is a lot of like in a lot of Batman v Superman stuff as far as themes are concerned, because you're like, yeah, we have Godzilla showing up, saving everyone, but destroyed most of, I believe it was San Francisco, and now the sequel to that movie is, and again, it is a canonical sequel, like as much as because King Kong is basically in this universe is a prequel to the first one. So it's like, yeah, this is directly sequel. It's, years have passed. They established that. And they're like, yeah, guess what? We've actually been discovering these monsters all over the goddamn place. And we've been trying our best to keep them hibernated until some bullshit happens. So it's like, yeah, they're introducing a whole universe of monsters now. So this definitely hits its premise.
Yeah, man. I really feel the same too, and I'm pretty sure Gonjo, he was already like, yeah! So we got the answer there. Here's the thing, though, man. Moving on, intended audience. I think this being for Godzilla fans is really what they were going for. And if I'm a Godzilla fan, dude, especially being with the cartoons and everything from back in the day, I was probably really fucking hyped to see all these creatures kind of come to life, especially Rodan and how they paid respect to all these creatures. Just like singularity. You know what I mean? Gonjo, going to ask you really quick. Intended audience. Thumbs up or thumbs down? Do you think they were excited for this?
Oh, fuck yeah. If you weren't a critic or someone that just had their head up their ass in terms of wanting something that's also like a deep fucking thriller, that's an Oscar award-winning fucking filmography or fucking writing, I don't know what the fuck you wanted, but for people that want to see big monsters fight and big fucking CGI battles, this is the fucking perfect film for you. I felt like I was on a roller coaster ride the whole time. So yeah. If you're a fan of these movies, especially if you go see an IMAX, you're going to be thrilled.
Yeah, no, and then Julian, what he was saying.
I had a kid in my ear talking the fucking whole movie, and I was still hyped.
I had a kid in the movie.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I had a kid in the movie that was annoying the fuck out of me.
But my kid was fucking narrating the whole goddamn film. Oh, Godzilla's about to do this. Oh no, Godzilla's doing this now. Kids, shut the fuck up and just watch it.
Man, I had that with fucking Force Awakens. I'll never forget that shit.
Looking at this too, as far as character goes in the movie. I gotta tell you, I like the character of Godzilla being built up the way he was so much, and that's, I mean, he's a titular character, so it's like, yeah, I have to give it love for that, but I gotta bring this down, because of the fact that, like, you have so many human characters, and not one motherfucker meant anything, and I'm not saying that I don't like this movie, because I hate reading those reviews from Rotten Tomatoes where it's like, oh, this is a bad movie because of character. This is for the fucking monsters, right?
Yeah.
But even in a situation where it's like, okay, monsters, King Ghidorah, why was he being held up in that fucking area? Why does he have any other powers than that ridiculous fucking thunder thing that literally after a while I stopped giving a fuck about the thunder thing that he was shooting out? And then Rodan, I thought he died twice. It's like there's certain things that are brought up with these characters and they do get some camera time, but it's like as far as story goes, like no one even has a story except for Godzilla. And to be honest too, it's like they're not even calling King Ghidorah. It's just like Monster Zero. Like, man, fuck you. Like,
two things. One, they do call it King Ghidorah. I don't know where the fuck Ghidorah comes from.
Well, you're saying Ghidorah, and it's not even a C. So, like.
No, I said Ghidorah.
Oh, okay.
I specified the G.
Well, god damn it. Go ahead.
Exactly. But if I'll use this much up to one. It's funny because like as much as the not a lot of the other monsters maybe got as much story as Godzilla, as far as Godzilla's character, I really did enjoy it, but I'm gonna be the odd man out here, and I actually like. Okay, I think King Kong actually manages to nail the all the side characters way better. But I actually didn't hate it. Now, obviously, you have the generic military people, and in some cases, generic scientists. But the main guy and the main girl, basically the parents that are on opposite ends, I actually really did enjoy their characters. I enjoyed that the main guy, as much as he didn't really have much going on, he was always in a situation where he's willing to just do whatever the hell the plot needs to in a compelling way that I was rooting for him the whole fucking time. And then the mother, she is like she is one of my favorite villain character types of she is nuts. She has no fucking like she is nuts. Her plan seems fucking crazy and ridiculous, but she has the power to pull it off. So I was in there in the situation where I was scared because she has the ability to do her plan even if her plan seems fucking stupid. And I think I love that in a villain type where you're afraid for this villain to be able to do their plan, not because we're not sure if they're going to make it work, is because they have the power to make it work, as stupid as it may sound.
Okay, yeah, and by the way, too, Ruther said that pronunciation depends on the cultural background, native language, so both of our versions of Ghidorah were pronounced correctly, so fuck you, Alan. Gandra, I'm going to ask you really quick, man, character, do you feel like this was done the right way? That's Facebook. And yes, Julian, I'll have you at the very, very end. But, Gandra, you, what do you feel about the character development?
I felt the character development was just pretty minuscule. Like, I don't know what the fuck y'all... Again, Rufus said it best. Y'all want a human drama from a fucking Godzilla film? Go fuck yourself. But the dialogue to keep the story going, to keep you interested, everything fell in its place. If you were thinking too hard about how radiation could cure a fucking living being, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you. Like, or how radiation attracts these things, or how they talk in radiation, which it was established in the first movie. That's just how they're rolling with this. Just roll with it. Fuck it. Geiger counters apparently are talking in a secret language we do not understand yet.
No, so, they weren't talking through radiation. They're talking through weird sound waves or some shit.
Yeah, but every time they did, they lit up. So I figured it was a frequency of energy as well. So I don't know what the fuck, man. Like, they don't explain that well. But you don't have to explain it. It's just to get you to the point A to the point B. Like, the best way to describe the story is, if you ever go to Universal or Disneyland, I'm going to teach Alan and Nick this soon when we go on our trip eventually. But one of the things is they always set up the story of the ride with just the most minuscule dialogue and the minuscule setup just to get you on the cart and experience the movie that you're going through or the ride's aesthetics. This is how I felt the movie. It just gave you enough to give you a reason why you're witnessing Godzilla do all this stuff and why your character should be there. Besides that, there's really no story except for the stuff that's going on with Godzilla fighting the monsters, which is more told through the actions of actual big monster CGI battles than actual, like, Godzilla discussing something with the humans in philosophy.
Yeah, okay, I can see that being the thing, and I do agree with you.
It's a solid middle ground. Like, so if you want to give me a point, it's a 5. If you want to give it like a thumbs up, thumbs down, it's a perfect middle thumb.
Exactly, perfect middle thumb, a middle finger.
Middle finger, right in the middle.
Story of emotional aspects of this film. I will say, there's a part where Godzilla, obviously takes a minute away from the movie. I won't say what happens, but you're supposed to feel sad. And there's even a part where you're supposed to feel like you're getting the presence of something angelic when Mothra finally comes into like the shape of what Mothra is. Because the whole movie, Mothra is basically just like a fucking worm, which makes sense. It's Mothra just gonna grow the way it's gonna grow. It's basically evolving. It's like fucking seeing Charizard. But when they have like moments like that where it's raining and then it's overcasted, but then it's like big yellow thing happen, like I'm like almost about to cry in essence. Or I'm like, this is fucking beautiful. Like this is just so mesmerizing and angelic. Yeah. Like I can't help but look at this like almost like biblical, like I do like those scenes too.
Treat it like that. With a lot of the music, when it's like Godzilla, dun 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 dun, God. I don't know what they're saying in the background, but I expected there's a bunch of people with drums chanting Godzilla, Godzilla, Godzilla every time he shows up with Ghidorah. I'm like, yeah, they nail a lot of the fucking emotional beats I need to.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I gotta tell you, man, like that thing really does work out as far as like just making me emotional, because you can be emotional but not like in a negative sense. You could be just happy emotional, and every time like there's a part, and I really hate that kid from Stranger Things. Her name is I think Maggie in this movie, but she's 11 on Stranger Things, and like she got my fucking nerves, and I'll talk about that later, I guess. But like there's a part where she smiles, and I once again did the cheesy smile where I'm like, oh, it is Godzilla. He's so beautiful. You know what I mean? Like
I did that with Ghidorah the first time he showed up. I was like, yeah. I was like, yeah, in the theater. I was so fucking happy.
Yeah. And so it's like it's funny when the character's like, thank God he's here or whatever. You kind of nerd out. Like you're taken out of the movie, but in a good way. Like, exactly. Oh man, I can't believe Godzilla's happening here. Ganja, you feel the same way, man? Were you over here cheesing like a little girl?
Fuck yeah. I got tired of the Godzilla quick saves after a certain point, but that's again, go to the story and the emotional elements. That's just how they pull you in and make you more invested. Like, oh my God, Godzilla cares for me. but they never established why Godzilla cares. They do a little nod towards the end because like they helped him out, but besides that, like when they're trying to say like Godzilla's our savior, Godzilla's this, Godzilla's that, they should have saved that role for King Kong, because at least King Kong was actually trying to save motherfuckers once they realized not to attack his ass in the movie.
Well, again, it's less of trying to save individual people and more of just trying to save the world from monsters. Like,
no, I get that, but they always try to make it individual, which I didn't like because it never made sense. Like, why is he having this interaction with you guys now? Like, the only interaction that happens was one of the characters, and that's because they've been setting up since the first movie. That's just the character's arc. Like, it was supposed to end like that, as far as I'm concerned. So it makes sense of his interaction and his emotions with Godzilla. Besides that, it's mostly cookie cutter shit from the first one. Like between all the humans, there's like they damn near take the same storyline. If I gotta save my wife and kids from the first one.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like you gotta start liking the wife and kids. And there's a part where and I'm not gonna bring out a thing for this, whatever, but it's just like it's one of the situations where he's about to save the kid, and you're like happy, like emotionally, like yeah. But when the kid like runs back, I never felt like later in the movie I got a reason why the kid like didn't allow herself to get fucking saved. And what's frustrating about that, it's like, yeah, now I don't give a fuck if he finds you or not. Because he already found you, and he was already going to save you. He was like an inch away from you, and you fucked it up. So now fuck you, kid. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that shit was, like, annoying as fuck. And then that villain, like, I never wanted him to really die because, I mean, well, there's two villains. I mean, there's a girl, and then obviously it's that main guy. But, like, I never hated them. You know, like, I think, Alan, even when you were saying something good about that, you were saying like you kind of got her point, right? Or you're saying like...
it was less of that got her point and more of that. It's again, my favorite villain trope is the villain is clearly nuts, but that's not the. But it's okay. You're not afraid of the villain's plan. You're afraid of their ability to execute it, because she has the ability to execute her plan. But when you hear her plan, it's fucking ridiculous. And I was a scientist. I was like, yeah, maybe, but also you're clearly fucking nuts because your plan is clearly fucking nuts, but that's not what makes it scary. It's the fact that you have the ability to put on. It's again, I'm not trying to say this is in any way, shape, or form, but it's like a Joker plan in the comics. It doesn't matter how crazy the Joker's plan is. It's the fact that he will execute it. As horrible and weird and crazy as it is, he will find a way to make it fucking work. And I think that's why I liked the villain side, is because they have the power and the ability to get their plan going.
Yeah, no, and I definitely agree with that. And
Jets in the chat. She said, "Fuck humans and Godzilla."
Yeah. Seriously though, I mean, like it was bad, but I mean, it's not what the movie's about. But it's like we have to discuss that. Like, yeah, it was kind of shit in that sense. And as far as this goes too, I got to be honest, progression, not the greatest progression. I gotta tell you, following Godzilla all the fucking time, and then like what Gon just said, like he's always like last minute saves, blah blah blah. It's like, does Godzilla ever become anything than just what he was in the beginning? Like, especially like this whole like mobile Poké Center that is a nuclear explosion. Like, I don't like the fact that like I didn't even get to see Godzilla heal up. He just appears. That's the whole fucking thing, just constantly appearing. I get to see.
So we're not gonna show his ass with band-aids and a fucking arm sling.
Well, true, but it's just like it'd be a cool visual effect to see, because like I mean, like I like how he's blue in most of these stuff.
Just cut to him, just hanging out somewhere, just going ah.
like they did. The thing is, we know that they have some weird healing effect because because Ghidorah gets injured and is able to heal from that.
Yeah, I guess I see you, and he's saying like that's major spoiler territory, man, dude. I'm telling you, it's called Godzilla King of the Monsters.
He gets injured. Is that really spoiler?
Yeah.
Hey, John Wick gets injured in John Wick 3. Like.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like
John McClane fucking gets injured. Like, are you sure? Like every character is gonna get injured unless
Godzilla fights a monster.
Unless your story's about an accountant, and even then, you might get like a moment like fucking Wanted where someone gets hit with a keyboard.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying in a sense we can't say too many things, but it's just it does feel like a little like, okay, something needs like. Okay, another thing too. Like, obviously, there's another like spoiler, but at the same time, like, come on, y'all. But the monsters all kind of wake up and like start fucking up like the world, and it's really really cool. It's really badass. But the thing is, when it happens, they evict these people so fucking fast, and it's like it was cool when I saw like this little kid.
Marvel shit.
Okay, but the thing is they did evacuate people, not evict people. Their rent wasn't up, Nick.
Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah, my bad.
I just roll with it because I know what he was talking about.
I know, I just want to fuck with them. But when you see a lot of the attacks from the monsters, you're seeing people being swept up. You're seeing people being turned to dust. So it's like they're like, oh man, we're trying to reduce as much as possible. People are still getting fucked up really badly.
Yeah,
though.
but that's only in 2 locations. When they do a few battles, it's never that big anymore.
Yeah, like they show like this big mammoth walking around, and it's like he wasn't even like super villainous. I didn't feel, but like at least show him like, oops, I stepped on a truck. Thank God nobody was in there, but we were close to someone being there. You know, it's like there's characters that just them existing would really fuck up like a lot of areas. You know what I mean?
And they do. They fucked up the areas. They're just they're just not going to show every fucking man woman without being stomped.
Us seeing it from Skyview though, it's just like it's so not engaged. Like it's so like I'm not in there. Like you know what I mean? Like it's almost like because in Godzilla 2014 there's a scene too where Godzilla's fighting these other monsters, right? And the monsters by themselves without Godzilla is really cool because we're on ground level. Like oh shit, it's crazy. And then when it got to part like oh here we go Godzilla, now we're watching from TV screen, and it's like okay that's not progressive at all. That's not like what's happening around that area. Like these characters just living progressively make the entire world different because it's like if I just crash into a building with my arm, oops, I just killed thousands. Like thousands. Like look at the Twin Towers. You know, just 2 towers falling down. Literally.
Yeah, but
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad they didn't do the buildings falling down as like all like 9/11 allegories. I like that it was more that these creatures were natural disasters.
Yeah, but no. Really quick though, he's just like the spoilers for this. I warned y'all a few times, y'all. Like if you don't want spoilers, beer go because like this is one of those situations where there's no way to. I mean, the movie is a spoiler. Like I don't know.
Like I said, it's hard. It is hard to talk about. We do actively don't try to fucking spoil fucking movies. It's just so it's something like this. We're trying to explain why we enjoyed it. It's gonna be kind of hard to say. Yeah, hey guys, a bunch of monsters fought.
Yeah.
But again, to jump on the point that we're talking about, it's like we didn't need to see the other random creatures doing their thing because we got to see as soon as Rodan shows up, as soon as Ghidorah shows up, we saw them actively, personally murdering the fuck out of people. So it kind of just shows like we don't need to spend the whole movie of watching the monsters just do shit. We got the implication from the main guys and then from the other guys.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that was just something, man. I think we all kind of agree in that sense too. But I mean, just for more clarity, whatever. Alan, let's start with you. Thumbs up or thumbs down for this progression then?
I had to go thumbs up because as much as when we get into the other things, I do have negatives about this. I did enjoy the flow of it. I wasn't bored. I wasn't again. I always put good with Back to Pacific Rim is that movie has a good story, but I was really kind of bored during it. I never felt like I was bored during Godzilla. I always felt that there was something happening on screen, even if it was generic dialogue between some of the characters, even if there was, not the best, visuals and I'm trying to see something. I was always like, I can't wait for the next second to pass by. Like, I almost want to watch this movie again.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, moving on from this, man, we'll get into the tone of the movie, and I feel like the tone was always supposed to be like, man, this is a big thing that's happening. It's a disaster movie in a sense too, because even when King Ghidorah is around, there's, the weather's changing in fucked up ways. And I guess I won't tell you guys what the weather is like, but pretty simple shit. Like
I'll say this, as far as I don't think it was in the trailer.
Have you seen a Roland Emmerich movie? You pretty much got the idea.
No, this is actually good.
Oh.
I stand by words. Roland Emmerich's never made a good movie.
I would disagree with that.
Out here just straight thoughting.
But yeah, man, like as far as tone, like Gondra, gonna start with you, man. Do you feel like this fits his tone? Like, thumbs up or thumbs down with it, man?
Oh, it's big thumbs up, especially when we're talking about the scenes with Godzilla and the other monsters. But when it comes to the human stuff, like I said, I feel like it's just set pieces to get you going into the actual ride itself, which is the Godzilla fights. But without that, you don't really know what the fuck you're going. It's done basically, so I'm not going to give it a negative or a positive. But when we get to the actual Godzilla stuff and stuff that's happening with the lore of these monsters and building up for the series that this thing constantly hints at by dropping Kong throughout the whole fucking film. Never once showing him, but they drop his name every 5 fucking minutes out of Skull Island. And I like what they do there, and I think it progresses very fast. It's one of those things that if you're hung up on the idea of having to deal with humans, you might feel a little bit of a lag in the film sometimes, but it picks up right afterwards.
Yeah. Pacing. I will say pacing with this, man. It takes a little long, like, to get started, but as soon as it gets started, man, it's like being in the jets, like with these other shoulders and shooting and all. I know I said shoulders wrong.
I fuck it up too. I'm not gonna give you shit for it.
But I feel like this movie, when it gets started, it doesn't stop and it just keeps going. Even when they're having dialogues about like, oh my god, like we need to plan for this, we need to plan for that. It's still moving. Alan, I'm gonna ask you, thumbs up or thumbs down with this, man? 'Cause for me, it's thumbs up.
Funny thing is, you did skip me for fucking down of this.
Okay. We'll go ahead and do both really quick.
Okay, I'll do both. I can do both really quick because I think the tone and the pacing fits in. Because pacing, I'll say the same thing for progression. I think the pacing is good because I was never bored. I was able to get from point A to point B. As far as the tone, because we changed it from action, that's actually my only negative there. And I'm not sure necessarily I want to give it a thumbs down because visually speaking, holy goddamn shit! Like when the monsters are fighting, it is fucking amazing when they get the still shots. My problem is King Kong. I think King Kong did the monster battle way better because you got to see it was more of a long take with the monster fights, especially near the end. Where with this, it's like you get this cool visual that I want to keep as a wallpaper, but then it'll cut to the human characters running and dodging everything like they're fucking have the Super Mario Star going on, and then it cuts back, and I'm like, wait, no, show the monsters fighting for more than 5 seconds, please. This is why I'm here. And I felt like I never got enough long takes of the monsters doing cool stuff.
I never got it long time.
Where it's like if you were to edit out all the BS and keep it together, it would be kind of okay. It might be a bit of a mess, but that's actually really my only negative. So I don't know. I don't want to give it a thumbs down because there's so much good stuff there, but it wasn't as good as I wanted.
Exactly, and I see that point too. Looking over here at dialogue, I hated the dialogue absolutely, and I mean, like I said, it's just one of those things. Like we try to be fair with like the rating system, and probably it needs work and whatnot. But the thing is like for a movie, you know, even if you really fucking love something, you gotta admit its flaws, and this is so glaring. Like I get the Rotten Tomatoes scores when you're saying that this shit's rotten when it comes to the characters and everything, because man, like you would think that if you're looking for your family, you can convey the emotion of holy fuck, I need to find them. But there's jokes, there's like deadpan jokes, like there's like this, you know, like oh, I'm gonna not react, and that's gonna be the comedy of it. Yeah. There's even situations like what's the name? Ken Watanabe, is that his name?
Yep.
Yeah. Or did I fuck it up? Because you look like
you got it.
You're close. Ken Teriyaki.
Oh, you fuck.
So, anyways, Jesus. I can't understand what the fuck he's saying. And because he's so emotional, he's so breathy with everything he's saying. That he's like, oh, Godzilla. I'm like, I'm not being racist. I'm telling you, dude, I do not know what the fuck he's saying. Like, he needs subtitles. And the worst part about it is that when I finally do hear him say shit, he sounds like me nerding out in my fucking chair. He wants to fuck Godzilla. Like, the way he acts, it's like, oh my god, like, you're so idolizing Godzilla. Like, he's a fucking rock star, and you've been playing his albums on repeat for, like, since you were 12. Like, what the fuck? You know, it's weird.
Yeah, but that kind of works. It's like, again, imagine if Stone Cold was around and you're fucking worshiping his ass. Like, yeah, he's worshiping him like an idol, like a hero, because he knows the history of Godzilla. A lot of the scientists there know the history of a lot of these monsters, and that's something I really appreciate is when they go into it. Like, there's a lot of again, if we ever do a spoiler discussion, there's a certain situation in which I started freaking out a little bit because of Ghidorah's existence. I was like, yo, because they're going a lot into history, and it fits in really, really well. So it's like, yeah, of course I love Ken Watanabe. I love him. He's one of my favorite fucking actors. Inception, the fucking first Godzilla, like I fucking love this guy. He is fucking great. Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeah, he does everything he needs to with the dialogue. But it's one of the things that I think I brought up during Booksmart, is that there is a level of foundation of dialogue that every movie needs to have to get from point A to point B. Does this movie do anything exceptional? There's a few times where the villains are explaining the motivation that I actually really enjoyed. But for the most part, this is very serviceable. I don't think this is as bad as everyone's saying this. I'm going to go out and say this. I don't think the dialogue is as shitty, as cringy, as bad as everyone says it is. I think people are overly dramatic. If you could sit through some of the bullshit that was in some other fucking disaster movies, like fucking 2012, or fucking The Day After Tomorrow, or fucking Geostorm, if you could sit through that fucking movie, this is fine. Like, to me, the dialogue here was fine. It was passable.
Ganja, how about you really quick, man? Thumbs up or thumbs down as far as the dialogue goes?
Thumbs up. Like, it's passable. Like what the fuck do you want?
Okay.
You made an Oscar film. What the fuck do you want?
It was enough for the movie to go from point A to point B.
All right.
Who are you yelling at right now?
We're yelling at the fucking people, the critics. It's like, well, this is horribly written. It's like, it was fine. Yeah, okay, it wasn't 3 billboards. Like, what the fuck you want?
Yeah, I'm
I just took Alan's energy. I was like, yeah, fuck them. Who are you yelling at?
Gotta tell you, innovation in cinematography. I was gonna say yes because the colors and the vibrancy and just the beautiful nature of everything.
Yeah.
One issue I have with cinematography and just like the shots and just like the set pieces, that's the word I'm looking for. You brought up 2012, the movie earlier. This movie is 2012 at the end. I I have a pet peeve of mine where a character should be dead 1,000 times and doesn't die because God is out there like he's playing with his fucking toys, moving buildings out of the way in cars. Oh, that would be very inconvenient for this building to fall right on you. So let me just move you to 2 inches to the side so you miss catastrophe because plot armor. Um, Plot armor is not really on topic of saying cinematography, blah blah blah, but it's just like seeing it come down. It almost like emphasizes the fact that there's a blue screen. It's like, and I know like movie making's movie making. It's gonna be what it is, but I can't help but look at it and just see the very glaring like, wow, this was made in some studio because everything's so impossible to happen. It's like you just emphasize the special effects of it all. If this happened just maybe like 10 yards away from the person, then it'll look like, oh shit, like that was a close one, but it would make sense. It gets to a point where it's like it's like a bubbles around this fucking little kid, and I'm like, kill the fucking kid. Like I'm at a point where I'm like, just kill the kid.
No, I disagree with you on this because I think the cinematography here was spectacular. Like this is probably some of the best visuals I've seen outside of fucking 2049. Because you made the monsters all look cool. I got to see the monsters in glorious. Like again, that trailer fucking emphasizes how, again, you got to see the scale of these monsters. When fucking Rodan flies down the first time, you get to see the scale of the destruction these monsters have. This isn't some bullshit where they're tiptoeing around buildings and they're able to avoid every human. No. These things will walk and wipe out a fucking block. And they're able to nail that. Godzilla isn't tiptoeing around. He's not actively going out of his way to murder people like Ghidorah, who's basically like Ghidorah was going out of his way to stomp on fucking babies every chance he fucking gets. Like he's basically trying to avoid the big things, but yeah, he's a big fucking monster, and this movie fucking nailed it. From again visuals when the lightning happens, the different colors. Every single character has their own kind of color scheme. Godzilla's kind of grayish white. Mothra's fucking blue. Rodan is fucking what was it? Rodan's fucking fiery red, and then you have fucking Ghidorah who's like dark black and gray. Everyone has their own version of colors, so even before the characters show up or the monsters show up, the colors show up, introducing them like a fucking promo. Like this is fucking amazing.
Yeah, and Gondra, gonna ask you, innovation-wise, do you feel like this innovated as far as cinematography goes?
I can't disagree too heavily what you say is 2012, but I think they did a better job in terms of getting people to focus more on the monsters rather than focus on people just running around the ground. Because I felt what they were trying to do with 2012 Godzilla was make it more like
2012 the movie.
What?
Yeah, we're talking about 2012 the movie when I brought that up earlier.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like I felt like 2012 they were trying to be what's that fucking movie you hate with the shaky cam and shit?
Cloverfield.
Cloverfield. Yeah, I think it felt like they were trying to be Cloverfield, just more action and oriented towards the Godzilla. Whereas this one, they actually made a fucking monster movie, and it was copying more of the King Kong tone, which I really appreciated. Where I got more of Godzilla, and the monsters were so well done, and the way they moved, and the fact that they affected the environment so well, like these giant creatures probably would. Rodan was pretty good. I love the fucking Mothra, but when it came to the mystery one that shows up at the end, but if you watch the trailers, you know who the fuck it is. I kind of felt like they just wanted to go like full God mode and give it the most powers you could probably do in terms of changing the weather, and I just felt like it was not earned because everybody else seemed to have like these ability to change the weather, whereas it's established later that this character is not really from here. And I just felt like that kind of pulled me out a little bit. But besides that, I thought all that monster stuff was really well done. The way they designed the creatures, the way they moved, the way they had the animals to characteristics. And except sometimes they acted really sentient and helped out people for no reason to do a quick save. But besides that, I thought it was well done. Like cinematography and special effects were on point.
Yeah. So here's the thing, man. Just thinking about this and like tallying up everything that we basically said here, man. Alan gave it a 9, Ganji gave it an 8, and I gave it a 5. So in total for that, I'm hoping my math ain't wrong when I fucking do this. 22 out of 30 is what we gave this. And gotta say, I'm not surprised. Once again, just like with the other two movies we fucking reviewed. Well, actually, Alan's surprised to fucking me with Ma. But with Godzilla,
Ma is some bullshit.
But 23 out of 30 is not bad for this movie. I think that being above average is something that like that's what kind of led to Kong Skull Island being our favorite movie of 2017, just because of the fact that we all agree that it's not bullshit. You know what I mean?
Well, hey, this year's gonna be Detective Pikachu is gonna be the best movie of 2019.
Yeah,
possibly. Yeah, no, actually, no, you're probably right. You probably agree with that more than we agree on this. But taking away from our number ratings, I gotta tell you, Double Toast rating, this is better than sex for me, man. Like, taking it apart and reviewing it for like the numbers, obviously not the highest score because it's not the best made movie. But does it have to be for me to enjoy it?
No.
This movie could be even dumber than it is, and I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Love this movie. If we had our old rating scale, I'll give this a buy it. But for Double Toasted, better than Sex, dude, I fucking love this. But Alan, I'll have you go next, man. Double Toasted rating, what'd you give it?
I'll go with a low full price because I enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed 2014 and Kong. But the thing is in Godzilla 2014, I got a 5-minute monster fight. I got a 5-minute fight with two Mutos as Godzilla was being a badass. In King Kong, I was getting a monster fight. A lot of them. I got a climax with a great monster fight during the daytime, doing all sorts of cool shit. It was well shot, but I got monster fights throughout the whole movie. With this, it's like I got monster moments. I got great fucking moments. But I never felt that there was a situation in which I got to see more than 30 seconds without it cutting to a fucking stupid human running into a wall or some stupid shit, or 11 giving a thumbs up as Godzilla murdered 30 people walking through a building. Like, and that has to give it down where it's like I want to like this movie more, and I'm gonna watch it again at some point. So maybe I wasn't paying attention, or maybe my eyes weren't working that day. I definitely want to watch it again, maybe in IMAX where it was filmed, and maybe I'll see it more. Like I saw Infinity War in IMAX, and it did make the movie look better. So maybe I'll just watch it again. Mm-hmm. But I do wish that I wish the monster battles were longer, not more, but longer.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with you there, man. What you call it? Ganja Guru, before I get into Julian, who just joined right now, so hey, what's up, dude?
Hello.
But Ganja Guru, you, man.
Yeah.
Double Toasted Racing. Oh. Wow. Double Toasted Rating.
Double Toasted Racist.
Double Toasted Wacky Racing. No, but I give it a full price.
A full price. Nice, man. And Julian, you, Double Toasted Rating, what would you give it, sir?
I give it a full stupid price.
Because here's the thing, man. I don't know if I saw much disagreeing. I think you're more mad about the spoiler situation, but overall, like, what'd you think about the movie too, man? I'll give you your chance to say your piece.
I think it's crazy how much they nailed it for me. Like when the monsters weren't on, it was like the perfect shitty dialogue. Like it felt like an old bad Godzilla movie. Like when Kyle Chandler is on there, I was surprised you guys didn't talk about him. Like every fucking line he has, he's eating the scenery without even fucking breathing when he's swallowing it. Like, dude, early on in the movie when he comes up there and it's like, "What are you guys doing? You trying to play God?" I was like, okay, here we fucking go. Like, and he's like that for the whole movie. Everything he says is just on that level of like, dude, relax, but like, okay, go for it.
Yeah, now I felt the way too, and I would have brought up Kyle Chandler more, but it's one of those situations too where it's like, what was wrong with him? What was wrong with everybody? I felt.
Oh, I can't stand that actor. I actually can't stand.
So
him.
Is he? What else is he on? Because
he was in Wolf of Wall Street, but he wasn't there long enough. But I tried to watch Bloodlines. I can't stand that actor.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna say that he's terrible or anything, because maybe it's just this goofy nature. You have to keep in mind too, these actors are in a really weird situation where they're like right here. I'm showing Ken Watanabe touching Godzilla. He's touching a big green dildo-looking thing, probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but Ken is a fucking incredible fucking actor.
Oh, no, I'm trying to talk shit about him. No, I'm not trying
okay.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything bad about that. I'm just saying like he's so talented that he looks like he's touching Godzilla. But these other actors who are not as amazing acting kung fu as that motherfucker, it's like. They can't fucking do it. What?
Get real close, like walking on that trapeze.
That's the thing, though. It's just like
real close.
Well, okay, magic trick or whatever the fuck. I don't know, but it's just one of the situations where
his katana wielding acting ability. He's like, how far down this rabbit hole you want to go?
Well, I said magic trick. That's not an Asian culture thing. Like, what are you talking about?
Dude, this guy's line delivery is like someone perfectly cutting sushi. I don't know why I feel that way,
Christ.
but that's how I'll put it.
No, I'm not going for that, you fuckers. The thing is, though, you sons of bitches, man, I'm trying not to laugh, trying to go on and shit, you fucking jerks. The thing is, though, is like, you know, not everyone is as talented as he is, right? So in this situation, you got motherfuckers acting to, some director, hey guys, act like you're on a ship that's moving and a big fucking lizard is looking at you. Like, it's hard, man. Like, I know these are actors and are getting paid a lot, and I get that. But I totally understand that if I was in that position, do you think I'm going to fucking act okay? No, I'm going to fuck that up. That's hard, man. Yeah. Like, they have to use more imagination than probably the director does, because they had to somehow form their fucking brains to imagine what this psychotic fucking director's thinking. It's difficult. And most of these people probably don't even like Godzilla. So it's like, holy shit.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest difference between the first and second Godzilla is like they're getting Bryan Cranston and fucking Ken Watanabe in these fucking roles where you think, oh, it doesn't matter, who cares? But that's where I felt like with Godzilla, because like Godzilla 2014 has its issues. No one's gonna sit there and say Godzilla 2014 is a perfect fucking movie, but I never felt the issues. There's a lot of dumb shit in this movie, a lot of it, but I
It's
never
all
felt.
dumb.
Okay,
It's all dumb.
for me, it was a mix of dumb shit. But like with Godzilla, I was like, okay, maybe the radiation a little bit, maybe this and that. But I walk out of Godzilla going, oh, that was totally fucking stupid. I was like, it had its moments, but I never felt it was totally fucking stupid. Where with fucking King of Monsters, I can't fight anyone that says this is dumb as shit.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they even brought up radiation. I was like, why are you guys talking about this?
They brought
like,
it up in the last
yeah.
movie, so yeah.
Yeah, but when they bring it up here, it's like, oh, so all these characters should be dead.
Yeah,
like,
it's so
logic
obligatory.
is so out the window.
Radiation doesn't matter. This is ironic that Chernobyl just came out that fucking series. Like,
Yeah, exactly,
that's
right?
Hilarious.
Yeah, because I thought that was just a canon that was just for the Godzilla that was with Matthew Broderick. I thought that was the only one with a Chernobyl storyline, and that's how lacking I know of Godzilla, because I thought that was just for that version. So and that's another thing too. It's like, man, there's been so many Godzilla movies. It's like, I agree with
40,
Alan.
50, dude.
Yeah, and I agree with Alan that's like some of these things, like they should have been more fight scenes. But like a more so too is like there's this whole stockpile of characters with names and lores and special abilities. Y'all couldn't grab like a bigger handful? We
Okay,
just got
and I
rolled-
actually like that because we don't get to see every. Okay, because there's like at least at this point there's what they say they know 17. That's the canonical number they give, but you see clearly there's at least what, let's say fucking 50. They really only show maybe like 3 extra, which is fine if you want to focus on the big ones. But it just kind of shows that now they have this ability. They basically gave themselves enough room so that if they ever get the rights, because the biggest problem with trying to make more Godzilla movies in America is getting the rights to all the other fucking monsters.
Yeah.
So they let themselves room open. So oh, hey, we finally got Jet Jaguar, that stupid fucking robot. Cool. We finally got this stupid fucking turtle. Good. Like now we can make the movies because we could just say, hey, the turtle's in fucking Germany or some shit.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I did dig that, but we're gonna get the fuck out of here. We've been doing this shit for. Honestly, I think some people would probably say for too fucking long. So, with that said, we're going to go into the after hours after this. rab.it/MCA Rabbit. Get your asses in there and argue with us. Tell us we're wrong. Tell us that we're way too fucking long with this goddamn show. Also,
I
tell
dare
us,
one of y'all to fucking defend Ma in front of me.
man, yeah, me and you are going to talk about this after the show because I do not know what you didn't see in Ma. It's just, I love this movie so much, but it's all good. Like I said, too, and I'm a horror geek, so. Yeah, you gotta tell me what you think about this too after you watch it. And yeah, and I will say with all spoilers, hopefully you did take the headphones off, because
I did. I did not listen.
Yeah, we went insane with the spoilers on Ma. There's no way you can, and don't watch any more trailers too. If they come up with more shit, whatever, don't fucking pay attention to that because they will spoil a couple things themselves. Well, with that said, we're gonna fuck out of here. So before I do so, it's time to plug.
Can
Alan.
I plug mine first?
Yeah, sure. We're talking about that little fire burning inside of your pee hole.
Oh, it's a little fire burning. I'm that little fire burning. Me and of course Alan and Ruthless got a podcast where we talk about cultural stuff. We talk about politics. We have an overall good fucking time. Make sure that you go check it out. It's on littlefireburning.com, and that is the Illuminati Podcast. I'm also on a new show. It's called Subversive History with Ganja. It's on the Metropolis Facebook page. I'm working on the next episode now. Things got a little hectic. Got a new job and stuff like that. So I'm trying to balance out my schedule. Once I got down, I'm gonna have the new episode for you guys later.
And then he might be one of us, but are we one of him? I don't know. The site's called One of Us. I have no idea.
I'm definitely inside of him.
Oh.
That's unfortunate. Alan,
Tell me more.
tell me
Any
about this
fucking
One
way.
of Us.
So if you go to oneofus.net and go to Screener Squad, you will basically see my name all over the place. We did a bunch of movies, actually, some of which haven't come out yet, some of which are basically going to be on the site very soon. So be sure to check that. I think something very recent. I can't fucking remember what the movie was. Oh, Domino. Yeah, fucking Jamie Lannister from fucking Game of Thrones is starring in a fucking Brian De Palma movie. And we fucking tear the fucking movie apart. So be sure to check that out. It's a great fucking review. Just did a bunch of fucking recordings today, so there's gonna be a bunch of shit in the next couple of days. So be sure to check all that shit out.
Yeah, man. And me, you like me? You
No.
Watch me and stuff. Watch me on chat tag. Thank you. Sorry, I just wanted to make that weird. People are getting the fuck out of here. Ganja Guru, why don't you count up or down? It's up to you.
3,
There you go.
2,
That's cool.
1.
That's fine.
Attack
That's the chat. Yep. Tag.
Throwback
Hard.
monorail. Remember that?
Thank
Monorail.
You, thank you. Conference of Godzilla. I'm waiting for you, fucking movie.
How the Short of fucking King Kong having laser arms, how the fuck's he gonna be Godzilla?
Dude, I think something they didn't even talk about in the movie is that Godzilla's getting bigger, and I think that that's the radiation that's causing him to get bigger.
Godzilla's he's getting thick.
No, dude, he's literally gotten taller.
He's on those roids, y'all.
Want to be a little bit taller. I wish I was a